Preston and Jordan, no relation, and he's tackled on halfway. End of the set, Trindle will kick for the Sharks from halfway downfield to the defensive right corner, and it's taken by the Broncos, and the first carry for Brisbane for this evening gets beyond the 20, and it's Perham at fullback tonight for the Bronx. Now, Anderson's got the ball, and he's on his own 30. A patch of turf down at that southern end, which just seems to have been relayed between the 10 and the 40, in between the, right down Main Street, down at that southern end. So it's fresh territory there, where the ball is played by Shibasaki, given on to Preston Ricky, down the middle third. 3 Sharks defenders waiting for him. Brisbane to play at 5, their own side of halfway. Blindside given to Duffy. Then on to Shibasaki. Nice tackle. Katoa coming in from his wing. Puts him down. Enter the Broncos first set. They're 45 from the Sharks line. Duffy puts up a bomb. It'll come down about a dozen now. No challenge really on Bubba Kennedy to catch it, and Kennedy takes it for the Sharks. That's 2 ticks, Billy. We're through the first 2 sets. No score through 90 seconds.
I like what I saw there from young Duffy. He took control of that set of 6 and then pushed Hunt out of the way to take the kick. This young player, that's what he's got to do, grab this game by the scruff of the neck.
Oh, that is a wild offload from Mulatalo there, just as well. He's told he had to play it. He's going to ground and chucked it out the back. It may not have been a knock-on, but referee Sutton says, no, you've got to play it anyway. So the Sharks keep the ball as forward goes Calhoun. 5 his own side of halfway. Played to Puru, given to the left, and Hazelton's met solidly by the tackle of Jordan Ricky, coming quickly out of the defensive line. Now directed left by Puru to Trindle. End of set, his kick hits the back of Jordan Ricky. Was it played at? According to the referee, you don't really have to play it these days. If you just get in the way of the kick, it's 6 more. Have they changed that interpretation? Billy Sharks have got a fresh set on halfway.
Well, I look at the interpretation should be, of course he's played at it. He's run towards the guy kicking the ball. That's enough for me to say you played at it.
And you don't need a charge down attempt or anything. He just turned his back, and okay, 6 more. But some of the times we see kicks for touch go off legs, and they say
different kettle of fish.
Yeah, okay. Sharks shifted to the right. Hines through the hands. Ramian gives it on to Katoa. Juggles it, loses it on the right edge. He could see the line in front of him. The defence was shifting, but there was a little channel of hope there for Sione Katoa, but he drops the ball.
Oh, he could smell the line. He could see it, Zona, couldn't he? He just couldn't get control of it. I think he might have been a chance of scoring that.
Absolutely, and Grant Anderson was the happiest man at this ground because they stripped him for numbers and he got caught on the inside. He was looking up going, please drop it, Sione, please. And Sione, to his credit, did that. Very disappointing if you're a Sharks fan, though.
Duffy feeds the scrum for Brisbane. A dozen from the southern end. No score early on here if you are just tuning in. Dragons beat the Tigers at Cogra 24 points to 10. As Dean Mariner with that right thigh heavily strapped. He's made a good recovery from what was a pretty scary moment when that compartment syndrome scare following the round 9 game of the Roosters where he had that injury, went out and kept playing, and then middle of the night thought something's not right here, and they got action to it and saved his leg, which was great news as Piakura's now tackled. Left edge, 15 in from touch, 15 from halfway. Duffy to the wing, gives it to Shibasaki, met and put down by a wonderful rib-rattling tackle by Ramian. And the Broncos just beyond halfway, left edge. End of set, Duffy with his right boot to a high deep kick downfield. Kennedy catches it, 5 in from touch on the right, 5 from the goal line, and the Sharks fullback goes on a solo kick return which gets just beyond the 10.
Very even game, both sides, ball in hand, are testing the opposition. Good kick chases as well. We're in the very strong arm wrestle phase early on in this first half.
Trindle shifts it left for Mulatalo, who's dragged down by Staggs and helped out by Mariner to complete the tackle. Sharks 10 in from the left and 15 from halfway. 1 man infield to Wilton. Teague Wilton met and put to turf, plays it on the Sharks 40. Now Puru dummies and then gives to Kennedy. He's tackled. I tell you what, there's some good razor work out there. Lots of gleaming shaved heads. Trindle's one of them as he kicks downfield. That was a shaved head trio. Played by Kennedy to Puru, passes to Trindle, kicks downfield as the Broncos receive, and Perham's taken on the 20. Can I say, Bill, all of them, there's Hazelton involved as well.
I was going to say, if anyone would know anything about shaving heads, it's you, my man.
This is the opposite of the Newcastle mullets. It's the Shire shave. With these Sharks players gleaming on this Saturday night. Shibasaki runs infield, taken down by Nico Hines. He's got a good mop to make up for the most of them. Pakes passes off right shoulder to Willison, who runs down the middle third. 5 from halfway. Given dispensation to play after failing an HIA last week, as Ben Hunt will kick downfield end of set for Brisbane. 5 inside his own half, comfortably taken by Kennedy. 10 from his own line, defensive left corner in the kick return, almost to the 20. We've gone through 6 minutes of this one. Dare I say it, we haven't had a mistake.
No mistake, no penalties. It's been end-to-end action. Good football.
Shark supporters are saying, don't say that while we've got the ball. They are working their way up beyond the 30 as Ramian plays it. Puru gives it on to Calhoun. Jesse Calhoun, middle third and 9 metres inside Sharks territory. Picked up one-handed by Puru, directs it left through McInnes under Hazelton, who got through Jordan Ricky, but Ben Hunt makes the tackle and Hazelton plays it on 5. 45 for the Broncos line. Trindle with a kick at the end of the set. A bomb, defensive right corner. Parham takes the catch, 10 from his own line. Slips a couple of tacklers. Gets up and gains an extra 10 metres before being tackled 22 from his own line. 0-0 between Brisbane and Cronulla, and I know, Zano, you love the trivial parts of the game. Can you believe that Hayes Parham, who turned 27, Hohepa Puru, who turned 24, all had their birthdays on Thursday this week, so there's a couple of candles being blown out this week.
Absolutely, and look, all I can say is Hayes Parham started the game well, Q. He's got the opportunity with, of course, Jesse Arthur's heading off to the Super League next year, and he's got the one on his jersey, and he's doing very well so far tonight.
Neil Haipuru, who was in the extended squad, also had a birthday on Thursday for the Sharks, and Brad Talon's up here saying, he put up a sticky note and said, it was my birthday on Thursday too. Happy birthday, Brad. End of set. Broncos kick downfield. Gathered by Kennedy on the roll on the goal line. Decides to pass to his left. Links up with that edge, but a nice tackle made out there by Staggs. Ensures there's no galloping room for Mulatalo.
And I know Sam Stonestreet's not playing tonight, Q, but it was his birthday on Thursday as well, July 2.
They're everywhere, Zane. They are everywhere. McInnes gives it on to Puru, and he's tackled. There's a, really good grind to start this game. Trindle to the left. Kennedy cuts out one to give to the wing for Mulatalo, but tackle is made by Mariner around his legs. And Staggs up top. Sharks get to attacking half. Hard out in the left, 45 out. 0 all the scoreline at Lang Park. McInnes to the right through Hines onto Ramian. Good defensive read. Anderson comes in and makes the tackle. Plays it on 5. 41 metres out. Trindle gets his boot to it under pressure. It's a bomb from Tricky Trindle at the end of the set. Caught by Parham. 5 from his own line for the Broncos, and he's tackled 10 metres from that southern end.
I'm loving this game, Q. It's 8.5 minutes in. It's been non-stop, no break in play. Plenty of ball movement, good defence, good reads. This is a ripping contest.
0467920222 if you want to get in touch on the SMSs. Anderson, that's a 2-on-1 strip. He lost the ball. Was the referee called it loose carry? It's been taken by Calhoun. Links on the edge with Katoa, who plants the ball. Well, that is a really interesting play let go by referee Sutton. There were 3 in the tackle. I had the binoculars up on that. He awards the try.
Oh, you need to see that again. To me, there were too many bodies in there.
There were 3 in the tackle when the ball came through.
Unless you had a simultaneous release by 2 of them, I just can't see how Calhoun could have ended up with the ball without having another Sharks player touching.
So Anderson was tackled originally. Yeah, 1, 2.
He's passed it to him, Q.
So he's saying he's passed it, and then
not a strip, so
not a strip, a loose carry. And Calhoun ran away and was good enough to link up with Sione Katoa in the right corner, and the Cowboys-bound Sharks winger scores first at Lang Park.
The real question there, was that a pass? That's the key question.
It was Billy Burns who stole it. I think Calhoun was one of the others in the tackle.
You're right, Calhoun was in the tackle. You're right, Billy Burns stole it. And to me, a loose carry, Zano, it's a really fine technical point.
I honestly reckon he's just passed it to him. He's literally gone into that position almost as a support, and he's had the ball put onto his chest, and he's just run away. And he said to the referee, he said, play on. Referee said, yep, and away he went. So you watch the replay here again. He's back behind the player. He's dead set put it into his arms.
Yeah, you're right. And that's a really good call from Ref Sutton.
Yeah, well done.
I confirm too.
So fourth try of the year for Sione Katoa, and the first of the night goes Cronulla's way. And a very tough conversion attempt for Nico Hines from right on the western touchline. 45 from 56 this year off the kicking tee in club footy for Nico Hines.
No safe head for him, Q.
No, not at all.
They're flowing locks.
To each his own. This for an excellent start off the bye for the Sharks. 8 and 6 and just inside the top 8. Big week in Brisbane coming up for them as Hines works the ball from right to left, but not enough. Misses near side, no goal from Nico. And it remains Cronulla Sutherland 4, Brisbane 0. And we played 10 minutes of this second game, just the 2 in the NRL men's in this Saturday on ABC Sport. By the way, in the W here earlier on, the Broncos beat the Cowboys 50 points to 4. At Cogra, it was St George Illawarra 24, West's Tigers 10. Around the grounds in the AFL, Carlton 1-1-7 lead Richmond 2 behind. That's early at the MCG in the AFL. Super Netball Grand Finals underway. First quarter, Adelaide Thunderbirds and the Melbourne Vixens. It's 10-all there. And a reminder that the first Wallaby test of the season is imminent. It's about 15 minutes away. The kickoff there. We have coverage for you on ABC Listen. You can hear the call from the Footy Stadium, Australia versus Ireland on Sports Extra on ABC Listen. As Cronulla gets a penalty, couple of plays into the set off the kickoff, Broncos offside.
Well, I was about to comment, this was a very important set of 6 for the Broncos. Obviously, they've had wretched form and the confidence would have to be down a little bit. How they bounce back from that try was important. And the last thing they wanted was a piggyback penalty. So now Sharks find themselves 40 metres out their own line, and the Broncos need to go up a gear in defence.
Sharks get to halfway, and I'll shout out here, hey guys, can I get a happy 14th birthday to my son, Rafe, who's a mad bunny supporter. Love mum and dad. R-E-I-F.
Rafe, happy birthday.
How would you say that?
Rafe.
Rafe? Yeah, good on you. Happy birthday from mum and dad. 14 today.
I reckon he would have been irate about what happened with Cody Walker last night, Q. As they're on their attack here, the Sharks.
McInnes gives it on to Hazelton, put down 25 metres from the Broncos line. Already 4-0 Sharks, and with the penalty they get to attack once again. Calhoun stepping off his left to weave towards the line, but he's taken down, and only 15 out when he plays it. There's a Bronco hurt, but let's watch the Sharks go right. Oh, Hines ball to Burns. Burns knocks on under an intense tackle from Corey Pakes, and that Bronco down and hurt is Brendan Piakura, Zeno.
Yeah, I think he just got winded, Q. I think he's okay. He's not limping. He's just got down on his haunches. I think his head in the wrong place too, around the hip area on, I think on Billy Burns. So
I reckon he might be coming off for a bit of a check-up there. You're right, his head is in the wrong spot. They had the Broncos on toast there, and there was a good try saver by Pakes. But this is where the Broncos now are the beneficiaries of a penalty to relieve the pressure. They've got to stay in the arm wrestle here. They're going to lift their intensity, get the ball down the other end of the park.
they're leaving him on. They're leaving him on.
Okay. Zane Bojack on the touchline. Billy Moore upstairs with yours truly, Quentin Hull, for NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Cordon looks pretty well attended tonight. Oh, there's a mucked up play the ball here from Shibasaki at the start of the set for the Broncos. And he was still only 35 metres from his own line. Ouch. That is a mistake for a man on return from a knee injury.
The Bears can't be offering him $1 million on how he's played this year.
Where
Bill,
does
surely.
his future lie? We haven't had any confirmation of that. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Last year was an amazing season for the left centre. He did everything in the year. Went from a train and trial deal to play, win a premiership, play Origin, play in an Ashes winning series, and this year he sort of reflects the whole club. Gone down a gear, maybe 2.
Hines had a run off the scrum. He's only 25 metres out. Sharks are on the attack as McInnes is taken. He's centre field at 19 metres from the Broncos line. Furu passes left for Kennedy. Given it the infield run of Wilton. Teague Wilton grasped. 11 metres from the Broncos line. Sharks already lead at 4-0. They're hunting more points at the southern end. Give it to Hines centre field. Nico has a run, but Willison makes a 1-on-1 tackle. Billy gives it a clap. Yep, was a tackle needed to be made. Bill now to the right. right. Hazelton charges into the defensive line, and the ball-headed prop for the Sharks is put down as ref Sutton says that's 5. 2 metres from the goal line to the right. Kennedy keeps it on to Katoa. Katoa, he flipped it behind his back for Kennedy. Kennedy's buffeted it over the touchline just. He nearly tried to plant it over his head. Parham with a try saver out to the 20 for a 7 tackle set. Somehow the Broncos just survived there.
Outstanding football. The Sharks nearly conjured up a miracle, but it was extinguished by the Broncos' left-hand defence.
Flick out the back too.
How good was that?
Well, Mariners hit here and a tackle from Wilton. This has started really well. Willison down the middle third. 3 defenders there to meet Xavier Willison. Broncos only 5 wins, of course, for the season and are on a 7-game losing skid. The math says they can make the finals. Footy logic might say otherwise, but sometimes football does defy football logic as Semu goes down the middle third. The big prop tackle, 45 metres out. Last play of the set, Ben Hunt will kick high and deep downfield for the Broncos. Kennedy defensive left corner, catches it immediately, is tackled and put to deck 10 from his own line. Good chase from Jordan Ricky, who's now taken his headgear off. That doesn't help you.
No,
when they start with headgear and then they take it off, there's a few like that. Su'afa'alonga, one of the guy, Harry Grant does that every now and then as well. Imagine a race caller and you change caps mid call. Oh, that's not, and they're all wearing the club colours. Anyway, here's Katoa.
Fine cotton kid.
Not quite. Oh, drop ball from Nico. Hines has put it down.
Wow, this is the Broncos.
Sharks just staying 35 out.
Yeah, they can smell a little bit of an upswing here, the crowd. They jumped in behind their Broncos team, and this is a great centre field scrum. As you said, 35 out. Great field position. What magic can they conjure up?
G'day to Will in Rosendale, Lancashire, who says, good morning, fellas. We are on our way to Liverpool for Magic Weekend, listening to the call. Great work as always. Come on the Bronx. That's a bucket list thing to go to Magic Weekend.
74,000 tickets sold too. They reckon it's the biggest Magic round ever. I hope it's an absolute roaring success.
There's some wonderful clashes too in that fixtures over there. It'll be a ripper to go to.
4-0 Sharks here. Mistake from Hines. Broncos opportunity. First play off the scrum win. Out on the right, and Staggs is tackled. The captain for the Broncos tonight. Fed infield to Va'a, call me VJ, Semu. And big Semu is tackled 15 metres from the goal line. Wavy fisty they want to hold down, and the Bronx can get a fresh set. Outside in play, Hunter Willison, great tackle from Kennedy under the black dot to stop him, only 3 metres out. Mucks up the play the ball though, Willison. Oh, put the pin in the balloon of building expectation for Broncos supporters there. A mistake, an elementary mistake from Xavier Willison as they got the fresh set and were on the rumble to the Caxton Street end.
They're the 1%ers, they're the coach killers, Zano. Such a basic part of the game, not done well, and that just extinguishes the whole heartbeat of the Broncos in that set of 6.
Can you imagine how many knock-ons there would have been in your day, Bill, particularly when you had the rake back? These days you don't play it properly and all of a sudden it's a knock-on. Sharky's back on their 20, pumping through the middle with Katoa Q.
17 minutes played, and the try to Sione Katoa on 10 minutes, the only score in the game. Hines failed to convert from out wide. Cronulla Sutherland 4, lead Brisbane 0 on NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Sharks with the ball. Hazelton plays at 15 from halfway. Now Trindle's pass to the left edge was dubious. Called flat by the referee as Staggs comes across to make the tackle on Ramian. Sharky's just attacking side of halfway from left back to centre field through a couple of sets of hands before Colhoun takes it into the defensive line. Ref says 5. Sharks are 38 metres out. Puru passes left for the end of set kick from Trindle, which is a bomb, which will come down a dozen out. Parham leaps. It balloons off his chest, and it's a knock-on according to referee Sutton, who was in the perfect position. It was then cleaned up by Mariner from the Broncos, but a knock-on from Hayes Parham, and this gives the Sharks another attacking opportunity as Ben Tolte runs onto the field. So
they're the things they're going to, again, that's the 1%er. Q, we talk about the play the ball. Well, that's catching the bomb. Those things, you've just got to do those things right. I know there's pressure, but if you can't complete those tasks, aside with the strike power that the Sharks have got, especially where they are on the field right now, they will make you pay.
20 in from touch on the left and a dozen out. Sharks win scrum, pass right, Trindle given on to Hines. Love when Nico runs the ball, and he's put down 3 metre by 3 defenders, only 5 metres from the goal line, just to the right of the uprights. Puru back, one man centre field. Colhoun, great tackle coming out of the defensive line from Tulty. But there's a fresh set coming up, Wavy Fisty to the left. Trindle's pass, goes along the ground, and on this dewy night, it skids and rolls over the touchline.
He's called a penalty though, he's got him offside.
Okay, penalty Sharks.
Yeah, the crowd love that decision.
Chris and Greg and Russell Island say, what the heck are the Broncos doing to themselves? I can't believe it. Yeah,
well, they've turned it over in possession twice, haven't they, Q? And look, I know you mentioned they got plenty of strike. They're coming 10th in terms of their for and against this year, Q. So they really have struggled with their point scoring, considering, you know, they have got so many attacking threats like Iro and Ramian in their side, Mulatale.
Well, it's the halves are the key factor for them. That's where their control has to be. They're international standard halves. But that's the thing, that under pressure sometimes they seem to buckle.
Well, they're up to 250 games too. If you have a look at Trindle, he's got 112. Nico Hines 139. This is about the time of year or the time of their careers that you're expecting them to really turn it on, aren't you? So, you know, they've had enough time to bed in their relationship. We know that Trindle now is more the dominant partner, and as you said, Q, I love the fact that Nico tonight has just taken the ball between the horns and started to run the football straight and really created some space as he gets set to try and kick this penalty.
So they're taking the 2 points here, the Sharks, to try and make it a 6-0 lead. 15 in from touch on the left and 22 metres out for the former Dally M medalist Nico Hines. Approaches, strikes, looks good, raises the flags, and it's Cronulla Sutherland 6, leading the Brisbane Broncos 0. We played 21 minutes of this game at Saturday night Lang Park footy here on ABC Sport. Around the grounds, AFL, Richmond 3-3-21 lead Carlton 2-1-13 late first quarter. Super Netball Grand Final second quarter, Adelaide Thunderbirds 16 lead the Melbourne Vixens 12, and repeating about 15 minutes away from the kickoff in the Wallabies v Ireland Test match at the Footy Stadium, which you can hear on the Green Sports Extra button on ABC Listen. Hazelton brings the ball back upfield off the kickoff, and the Sharks a dozen from that Caxton Street end.
I don't think the Bronx will mind the fact they took the 2 there, Q. I just reckon that they want to play down this end of the park as much as possible to keep their confidence up.
Hero with a run, and now down in the middle third, the Sharks get beyond the 30 on the carry of Jesse Colhoun. Plays it, Puru passes right, there's Hines, flat little ball, put Byrne through a hole, gives it on to Ramian over halfway, dragged down from behind by Anderson, but a good game. Sharks only 33 metres out, Ramian plays it quickly, given right by Puru to Hines, chips in behind the line, he's got Katoa racing through, gathering the ball and scoring a double. 2 for Katoa. What does the referee say? Yes, he agrees. It's a try to Sione Katoa. And that's 10-0 kick to come.
Well, it didn't matter the fact they're down the other end of the park. They went the length of the field in that set of 6, and it was a sublime short ball. Billy Burns off the right shoulder of the halfback Nico Hines, who's then followed through with a beautiful little chip kick and bad read here. The Broncos left hand, right hand didn't talk to each other. Shibasaki and Perham, they both looked at the ball. One of them should have extinguished the problem by catching it, kicking it, doing whatever you had to do, but get it out of the play, and they didn't do that, and they let a thief in the night. He came through Katoa, the right winger, and stole the ball out of the air and put it, and you can just see in the replay, the fullback Hayes Perham realises, I should have stopped that one. Well done, the Sharks.
Phil, 88 tries now for Sione Katoa, but I've got a word to use, urgency.
Yeah.
Where was the urgency from Gemma Chibasaki? As you said, an international back from a layoff this week, trying to get his side off this 7-match losing streak, and Hayes Perham a chance to play first grade. No Reece Walsh, Jesse Arthur's put it on the bench and given you the opportunity, and he can't take it either. I mean, come on, this is poor.
I need some understanding as well, but you're right. areas lacking for Brisbane there as Hines will try and convert. 8 in from touch on the right. He's hooked that across the face. That's no goal. And Nico's not having the greatest night with his boots so far. 1 from 3 for Hines. Cronulla Sutherland 10. Lead Brisbane 0 with 16 minutes remaining in the first half. If you missed it earlier on, 3 points for Valentine Holmes as St George Illawarra defeated the West's Tigers 24 points to 10 at Cogra. Had some pretty scathing things to say about the Tigers while we were listening into the boys in the earlier game.
I applaud all the Tigers fans out there. It's a hard job, I imagine, to support the club. When you start to think, oh, this is a game they should win, they don't come home with the chocolates. It must be frustrating.
Ben Hunt's kickoff is let bounce by the Sharks. It bounced kindly and Hazelton runs it back from the dead ball line infield to the 10-metre line. And there's a hold down in the tackle and a penalty to Brisbane against Corey Pakes.
Late flop, but that's costly because that's, again, they've done this several times tonight, Zano. They've just given the piggyback penalty for the Sharks, which is exactly when you've got a few new boys on the team, you want to keep field position, not surrender it.
Well, the interesting thing for me is that they've been caught offside a couple of times and holding down. That's actually good intentions, but it's not working for them at the moment, Q.
Jen's listening with the dog, our great mate, Jen Maxwell. The voice is watching the rugby. So Jen sends a shout out to her. She loves your passion. Thanks, Jen.
He had a lunch with Les Kiss yesterday too, by the way. There would have been a few share it.
The great James, did he?
Yeah, he would have had a couple of drinks there, I reckon.
Hazelton on the rumble down the middle third, and the Sharks are 32 out, already leading 10-0. Hines to the left, gives it to Ero, passes to Mulatalo. Mariner gets him along with Staggs on that defensive right edge for Brisbane, but the Sharks are threatening again as Ero chucks it infield to the right from Hines onto Trendle, gives it to Hazelton. The big fella had a moment, almost got through before Willison takes him down 8 metres out. They look like they're odds on to score again here, the Sharks. Trindle to Kennedy. Kennedy is just held up by the defence. They ran it on the last, and boy, didn't the Broncos need that last gasp tackle from Shibasaki, because they looked flimsy yet again.
The holes are getting bigger in the defensive line of the Broncos. Their line speed slowing. They're on the rack and they nearly get pushed back into the in-goal area. They need to get it in the other end of the park, and they need their line speed to pick up.
And a penalty helps.
Yeah, big
penalty goes to Brisbane.
Hayes Perrin was able to milk that. Well done. He was able to get out of dummy half and cause a little bit of grief, but the Broncos are on the rack here. They have to be very careful. In ball security's paramount, they need to keep possession and then get down the other end of the park and defend their way out of this hole.
5 and 10 the Bronx. They've lost their last 7. The Sharks just inside the 8 with an 8-win, 6-loss record, but as mentioned, as Zane said, they're going home, but still it's a Brisbane double for them here. Lang Park tonight, Dolphins next Saturday. High tackle Brisbane play 2 of the new set as they get to halfway. High tackle but not on report, so they've been gifted not 1 but 2 kicks to get downfield now.
Well, this will put them deep into Shark territory. So they're at 31 out, so they're on the front foot. Last time they're down here, they looked reasonable, and then they self-destructed with a penalty. Sorry, a bad play the ball. They've got to get through the set of 6, give themselves a chance.
Preston Ricky's got the football for Brisbane. First carry only 28 metres from the Sharks line. 10-0 to Cronulla Sutherland. For the Broncos at the attacking end. As Jordan Ricky is tackled out there by Puru. Plays it to Pakes, given left through Talty. The Hunt onto Piakura. He's tackled. Hunt says, high tackle. Referee agrees. High tackle from Ramian.
That's 3 penalties in a row. You start to sort of think that the referee might have a word to the Cronulla captain here soon. It was a pretty good eye shot too.
Jesse Ramian with a loose left forearm around the bridge of the nose of Brendan Piakura.
Remember, he got rocked earlier in the game. He's just gone down to his knee. I think the trainer's going to have to take him off for a HIA here, Q.
They take the tap and play goes on. Meanwhile, Talty is stopped only 10 metres from the Cronulla line, and the Broncos fans are saying, yep, let's get into this game. We've conceded 2 tries. Jordan Ricky, he's taken only 6 metres out right edge. Played to Pace, given to Willison. Under the black, under the padding of the post. He's held on his back. just next to the padding of the post to be precise, and he'll be taken out to the 10. There were 3 defenders underneath him. There was no chance of grounding that. Held up though, played the ball on the 10, and still a couple of plays left in this set for Brisbane. Tulty down the middle third. Hold on.
Piakura.
Piakura's got to go for HIA. Tackle 4 here with Ben.
Yeah.
Tulty. Ben, you would have to play it.
So you called it, Zane. You were all over it.
Yeah, well, the trainer let him go, but
Wait, Ben.
I'm not going to get on my high horse about this one.
He probably should have went for the first time.
I say so.
Well,
Well, this is a good centre field positioning for the Broncos.
and there's a man on debut who's just come on the field, Luke Gale, the former Dragons jersey flag captain, has been playing his trade at Winner Manly in the Queensland Cup. Congrats to him. Meanwhile, last play, Bronx on the attack. Ben Hunt kicks to the left wing. It sits on the head of Anderson. Catches, chucks it backwards to Shibasaki. He's tackled and runs out of room, and it will be a handover and a Sharks ball. 11 and a half minutes remain in the first half. Cronulla Sutherland 10 lead Brisbane 0. Quentin Hull with the team for NRL Saturday on ABC Sport.
Bill, what about 26-year-old Luke Gale out of Dubbo, went to Winner Manly, now playing for the Burleigh Bears, makes his first grade debut. How good is that?
Great story that someone that in his mid-20s is still able to hang in there, and he gets his chance. I hope he has a great game.
And Jesse Ramian did get put on report for that high tackle a moment ago. Sharks with the ball on their own 30. Out on the left, Kennedy runs out of room, runs into the tackle of Ricky. That's Jordan out there. As it's played to Wilton, past infield from Colquhoun onto McInnes. And the veteran skipper, tried to pass the ball while being tackled. Couldn't control his pass. He's lost it forward, picked up by Shibasaki of the Broncos. And he then, there's a penalty to Brisbane.
Shoulder charge,
Yeah. We talked about how neat the game was for the first 12 or 15 minutes.
Well, I think that's what, at least 4, maybe 5 penalties in a row there.
Yeah.
Brad Talbot will be able to get 4 penalties have given away in the last couple of minutes.
It's been an epidemic, there's no doubt about it. What about this? 24-year-old Josh Corrick gets his chance now. He's out there as well from Oak Flats down near Wollongong.
So, yeah, a couple of former juniors of the Illawarra region. So Joshua, what are we going with? Chorich would be the, what's the word? The culturally correct version, but you never know if how his family says it. So anyway, it's Preston Ricky on the run, and the Broncos are 5 metres out, just to the right of the uprights, but the ball from Jordan Ricky is no good. Another mistake from the Broncos on the attack.
They say sometimes it's hard to love. Did he regather it? No, that's definitely a knock on.
I know the tennis player is Borna Chorich. But of course,
We say the European way of saying it.
well, and then we have, of course, but everyone has the right to anglicise their name.
100%.
I'm a Quentin, which of course is a French word for the fifth, which is pronounced Quentin.
I should be Billy Moray.
I've just checked with the Broncos, they say Corrick, boys.
Corrick. Okay, good on you, Zane. Thank you. 9.5 left in this first half. Corrick on the field with Gale, and it's 10-0 to Cronulla Sutherland. As Puru's at dummy half for the Sharks. Gives it infield to Burns. Burns is tackled short of the 30. Puru waits underneath, receives the play, the ball passes left from Colquhoun on to Oregon Kafusi, who's out there as well for the Sharks, and he will quickly play the ball. Puru gives it to Colquhoun into the defence of Tulty and also Willison. Good defensive set from the Broncos here. That's 5 for the Sharks, still well inside their own half. So Trendle kicks downfield. It's caught by Mariner. Only 30 from his own line. Runs infield, no great gain as Kafusi makes the tackle. But off the good defensive set, Brisbane finds themselves in decent field position to start the new set off the kick on their own 30. On the left side though, and there's 4 Sharks swarming in defence. That was a good way to start the set with a tackle on Parham. Plays it there. Now on to Anderson, given to him by Duffy, who's in a dummy half, but Grant Anderson is tackled. 10 from halfway. Little snipe from Pakes out of dummy half. pinches 6 or 7, gets the halfway, plays it quickly. Anderson, he has a little snipe too, got tackled, past to Perham, chucks it out the back. It's the last play, it's disorganised. Picked up by Willison, tackled around his ankles, and there's 6 more. It was the last, but there was a touch from Cronulla in that mess. Now a great pass, Ben Hunt to the wing for Mariner. He gets through the tackle of Kennedy, but the shifting defence led by Ero puts him down 15 metres out. Broncos on the right, outside in play, Perrin to Ricky, Preston on the right edge, but Preston Ricky is Jordan Ricky, tackled 5 metres out. Back to the left, it's Duffy, given on to Willison in the centre third. Willison has taken 11 metres from the goal line in centre field. Pakes directs it to the left for Duffy. Second man to Hunt. Hunt decides to run himself. Got tackled by Hunt. Got the pass away to Gale, but he stopped the metre out. Played to Pakes. Burrowing attempt. He gets in from dummy half. It's a Broncos try. Corey Pakes scores for Brisbane with 7 minutes left in the first half. And it's Cronulla Sutherland 10, Brisbane 4, kick to come.
Just what this contest had needed. Just what this crowd wanted. They're on their feet. And this Broncos side will grow in confidence off the back of that. They had a repeat set of 6. He was touched by the Sharks. And you can just see across probably 8 tackles, they went up a gear. They won the collisions on multiple occasions inside those 8 tackles across those 2 sets of 6. And in the end, Pakes was able to take advantage of a disjointed defensive line of the Sharks. He snuck over from dummy half. That's what good nines can do. They see an opportunity to take and took it. But that was a team try built off the back that they won the collisions queue. They stuck their nose through on multiple occasions. A good ball by Ben Hunt down the eastern touchline. Got him into the backfield a little bit, but that's a good try. That's just what the Broncos needed.
You know, poor completion rates for both sides, 70% for the Sharks, 73% for the Broncos, but they've had 60% possession, the Sharkies, so they're only up by 6 at this stage with the chance for Duffy to continue his great goal kicking and make it a 4-point ball game. Broncos would be ecstatic if they went into half-time at this scoreline, Q.
They needed that try. You're right, Zano. That was basically, I think, just to build their confidence and have a bit of belief in themselves.
Duffy will try and convert from 15 from the left and 20 metres out. Tom Duffy.
Over 90%, Q.
Well, it's a small sample size. It's 12 of 13. But your numbers are correct. You sound like, you know, there's maths reality and football reality, isn't there? That's a conversion from Duffy. Make it 13 from 14 off the kicking tee. 1 from 1 tonight. Sharks 10, Broncos 6. 5 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first half. Let's get around the grounds. The test match is underway at the Footy Stadium between Australia and Ireland in the rugby. You can hear it on ABC Listen. Look for the Sports Extra button. No score as yet between the Wallabies and Ireland. In the AFL, early second quarter, Richmond 5-4-34, lead Carlton 2-3-15. Super Netball Grand Final, it's half-time. The Thunderbirds 32 lead the Vixens 20. And if you missed it early on, the Dragons beat the Tigers by 24 points to 10. Alex Demonor, third round match at Wimbledon, is also on court as well. He's playing the American Zachary Schwader, and we'll keep you up to date with scores of that one as well. Plenty happening around the place, particularly if you got up at 4 o'clock to watch the soccer.
Yep.
How are you going?
Good. I had a little bit of net on that before I came
There'll be
here
some
today.
weary sports fans in Australia about now, won't they, Zano? You're okay?
Oh, I went to Dreamworld with the kids after getting up early. There's an offload at the back. It's real play on.
Corrick on a big carry lost the ball on a bone-rattling tackle from a couple of Sharks players. Puru's hurt as a part of it. He was in it with Burns. Joshua Corrick has said, I've waited so long to play in the NRL. I'm going to charge out of the southern end of Lang Park with a big run, and he got rumbled into by 3 defenders and lost the ball.
I reckon Colquhoun could be in trouble here. Look to be. Oh, actually, it's Billy Burns. It's Burns' head.
Yeah.
Head and shoulder into Corrick.
But he hasn't tried to wrap his arm either in there, in my opinion. But there was a big collision. You're right, it was 1-on-3. But that Corrick, he said he'd saved up. He's 24. He'd waited many years to have that carry, and he wasn't letting anything in the tank. The Sharks had a welcoming party for him. See what the Sharks have got the ball in their hands. So obviously they think that there's going to be a knock-on called here.
5 minutes left in the first half. And we're just getting another look at this.
Independent doctor said he's got to go.
Did he go rigid? I don't think so. It was interesting, Zane. I had a call from one of our former media colleagues who now works up on the Sunshine Coast University, Peter English. He's doing a study on how concussion is reported in sport and the kinds of information that we get and how we tell the story of something that, as I mentioned, we can see if a player is playing through a hamstring injury or a bung knee, but how do you know if someone's continuing to play with an acquired head injury?
Absolutely. Bukura up the tunnel as Kennedy has the ball. Q stepping off his left foot.
Sharks have got it. 5 minutes to the break, and they're on the attack 15 metres out. Kennedy plays it out in the left. Give it to Talakai in the middle. Third. C for Talakai. Billy got out of his chair. It's a Perth Bear in waiting. Plays it 10 metres out. And now Beryl's on the field. Passes right for Hines. Give it to Kafusi. Oregon Kafusi. He backs his way to within only a metre of the goal line at the southern end. Now Beryl directs it left. Hines cuts out a man, gives to Trindle. Cuts out a man, gives to Kennedy. Passes to Ero on the edge. Staggs makes the tackle. And Kale Ero is 5 out in the metre in from the eastern touchline. Out in the left, Molitalo chucks it back right in centre field. Trindle onto Colhoun. He's put down. Sharks 9 metres out, leading 10 points to 6. Close to half time. Beryl to the left. Trindle's grubber. Ricochets around off the boots of Ricky. And it's picked up in the end by Broncos Stags. Referee says there's a knock on.
I think knock on by the Broncos.
By the Broncos.
Yeah, some good defence there by Brisbane. Ben Hunt was calling, moving, sliding. They really had good line speed, put a lot of pressure on the Sharks attacking machine. Unfortunately for them, I think they're challenging it.
Okay. On-field ruling, played out by Broncos, then first knock on by Sharks. Sharks are challenging that there's a knock on by Broncos prior to theirs.
So at the moment it's a Brisbane ball. So the grubber got kicked into Jordan Ricky's legs. And then, according to the referee, the first knock-on was off a Shark.
The ball's played out by Jordan Ricky, bouncing up. Now, looking at the right arm here of Brady Trindle. The ball contacts the arm of Brady Trindle.
Knock on.
Travels forward into the leg of Jordan Ricky. Cut the challenge is unsuccessful.
Genius, Wiz.
Sharks.
Okay, the tackle count restarts.
Earn the challenge.
By Braden. It's going to be a scrum. Broncos
Well, I'll go back to my point. That defensive set by Brisbane, their line speed was so much quicker than what we've seen in the last 10 minutes. And they're really able to diffuse the Sharks' attacking machine. So, well done. The Broncos, 3 minutes 48 to go in this first half, Q.
Well, they got that decision, the Broncos, but they've lost a man. Piakura has been ruled out. He had a Cat 2 HIA, but he has failed and he won't be back.
Thanks, Zane. So not good news for the Broncos in that regard. They've got the ball though. Off the scrum win, Anderson tackled 15 from the southern end.
They must complete this set, Q. They've got to get out of harm's way.
Shibasaki to the 20, and now Gale on debut. Luke Gale, 26 years of age. Second rower, and as mentioned, he's sort of back in the day was the captain of the Dragons jersey flick team. And of course has been playing for Wynnum Manly around these parts of recent times. Shibasaki with a carry. Broncos 10 from halfway. Now right side shift. Given out to Staggs. Wrestling with Ero. Ero completes the tackle and gave him a bit of extras as well, which is why the crowd's booing, but I think he gave extras just to complete the tackle. Ben Hunt kicks downfield, end of the set. It bounces just short of the 20, taken on the half, or on the bounce by Kennedy, and Kennedy's tackle 22 metres from that Caxton Street end. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this first half. It was a really good scrap early, and then it's become a little bit scrappy, as in retention of the ball's been a bit looser as the half's got longer. 10-6 in favour of the Sharks. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Mulatalo to the 40 as the Sharks work it upfield. Pass to centre field for Talakai to run it right to where the old mound of dirt would be back in the days when they had that in the middle of the footy field. Beryl passes right to Trindle, given inside to Calhoun, takes contact, one-handed offload to Kennedy. Passes left to Wilton on the left edge, given on to Ero over the 40. Ero steps in field but gets tackled by Hunt down low and Mariner up top. Sharks left edge, 33 metres from the goal line. End of set. Trindle rushed at but gets a bomb away. He got put down. I'll follow the ball. Anyway, penalty goes to the Sharks. Yep. I had to follow the ball, Billy, but as soon as the ball was caught at the end of that kick, penalty goes to Cronulla Sutherland.
You can tell straight away your IQ that's something that in the game's rubbed out now. You just can't take a kicker out while he's in
Dean Mariner.
In a kicking motion. Dean Mariner, you're right. So they did it before, and I'm sure they'll do it again. They'll take the 2 points here, Nico Hines. This will make it a 6-point ball game, and I'll go back to what Zano said. They'd be happy to go in only 6 down the Broncos, because there's a lot of upside to what we've seen from them tonight, and the Sharks, their ball security is what's probably killing them, because if they complete, they could tear this Broncos side apart.
15 in from the left and 20 metres out for Nico Hines. Getting close to half-time. This for a 12-6 lead and probably the last scoring play of the opening 40. He's only kicked 1 from 3 tonight. Hines approaches, strikes it with his right boot. Oh, it's off the upright, back into the field of play, caught by Colhoun. He's got it, it's no goal.
He's got a Ray Price.
Nico's 1 from 4, but the Sharks have got it 5 metres out. Pass to the left, Hines had to go to a knee to catch a low ball. As a consequence, he's lost his momentum, and Willison pushes him back 10 metres in the tackle. 28 seconds left in the half. Remains 10-6. Sharks get the ball back after a penalty goal attempt hit the upright. Now here's Wilton. He stopped left edge. 15 from the goal line. Played to Beryl. Passes right for Trindle. Given on to Kafusi. Got an offload away to Beryl. Knocks it on under the tackle of Preston Ricky. Picked up by Josh Corrick. He's got it. The debutant with ball in hand for the Broncos. And that'll be the last play. Just about. No, he got to play the ball away just before the hooter. Given to Staggs right edge, but he can't get through. And that's the first 40 done on this Saturday night at the Cauldron in round 18. Sharks the first 2 tries. Broncos got 1 back before the break. And we go to the sheds with Cronulla Sutherland leading by 10 points to 6. A double for Sione Katoa on 10 and 23 minutes. Nico Hines has kicked 1 from 4. So he missed the first conversion, then kicked a penalty goal, then missed the next conversion, and then misses a penalty goal. 1 from 4 for Nico. While for the Broncos, Corey Pakes with a burrow from dummy half on 34 minutes scored, with Tom Duffy converting just left of the upright. Sharks 10, Broncos 6, Billy Moore.
Interesting game of football. The first 10 was virtually mistake-free. And a great arm wrestle, some players missing, but the ones on the park still have plenty of talent. They don't look like the Sharks were just too good. They were starting to make yards, they were finding holes, and they were basically winning the arm wrestle and the collisions. And they skipped out to a lead. And then the Broncos, inside the last 10 minutes, they went up a gear. And it was when they basically brought on some rookies and they had a few injuries. And you're sort of thinking this game could, really slip away quickly. But I saw an energy shift in that last 10 minutes where I went, wow. Their defence picked up. They scored a great try, which I call it over the course of 2 sets of 6. They poked their nose through on multiple occasions, and it was just sheer energy, enthusiasm. It wasn't too much skill. There's a lovely little play by Ben Hunt down the eastern touchline, but all in all, it was pretty basic stuff where they just went on enthusiasm, energy. And then I thought their defence in the last couple of minutes of that half, again, showed line speed, it showed energy, it showed, again, there's a bit of a ragtag bunch of Broncos out there for mine. It looked like they came together and they went up a gear, led by Xavier Willis and Ben Hunt and the more experienced players. But it's the lesser lights that actually are the ones who are taking the opportunity and making the most of it. It's a game where you're sort of expecting the Sharks, if they dominate possession, they only completed at 75%. If they complete in the high 80s, you think that they'll tear the Bronx apart. But strange things have happened, and it all comes down to the word confidence.
which Brisbane are struggling for, having lost 7 in a row. And the Sharks, because they've been a bit up and down this season, haven't they? But they're coming back off the bye. 8-6 on the year before this one. Thanks, Billy. Cronulla 10, Brisbane 6. Earlier at Cogra, St George Illawarra defeated the Wests Tigers 24 points to 10, with Val Holmes receiving the 3 votes in the ABC Player of the Year. The suite of results on this day of NRLW, 3 games which started at Robina, where the Roosters beat Gold Coast 34 to 10. Canberra beat St George at Cogra 20 to 4, and here the reigning premiers Brisbane opened their title defence with a 50 points to 4 win over North Queensland. 50 to 4, and we did get notification from the club that had an official attendance of around 14,300 here for that game.
Well, you turn up to watch it because they are red hot, and you go through that list of names. There's some superstars in it.
So Roosters, Raiders, Broncos winners so far, well, on this Saturday in the NRLW. Just before we get to the news, around the grounds in the rugby, looks like Australia's gone in for a second try, and Carter Gordon, he's just missed that conversion across the face. So 15 minutes left in the, 15 minutes played. Yeah, 15 minutes played. Australia 10, lead Ireland 7. Australia 10, lead Ireland 7. AFL second quarter, Richmond 5-4-34 now trail Carlton 5-5-35. The Blues by a point there. In the Super Netball Grand Final, the Adelaide Thunderbirds playing the Melbourne Vixens. That's in Melbourne, but it's the Thunderbirds leading by 32 points to 20. That's the Grand Final in Super Netball. Adelaide 32, Adelaide Thunderbirds 32, Melbourne Vixens 20. And Alex de Minaur's third round match at Wimbledon is underway. He's playing Zach Schwader of the United States of America. And de Minaur has an early break. Schwader is serving at 1-3 in the first set. Here at Lang Park, it's Cronulla 10, Brisbane 6. Halftime. More on this NRL Saturday on ABC Sport after a trip to the newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. The federal opposition leader Angus Taylor has used a keynote speech at the LNP State Convention in Queensland to launch an attack on One Nation. It follows a string of opinion polls showing the coalition's primary vote lagging behind Pauline Hanson's party. Mr Taylor says One Nation lacks direction and substance when you look past its high-profile founder.
We are all watching, and we've all seen the growth of One Nation in recent times. But the truth of One Nation is it's a one-person show.
Staying in Queensland, where the Primary Industries Minister says the state faces a very real threat from the deadly H5 avian flu. 5 cases have been confirmed among migratory seabirds in Western Australia and South Australia. Secondary tests have been carried out on 2 further suspected infections on the east and west coasts. Tony Perrott says he's concerned about the sheer scale of the damage that a broader outbreak could do.
We've been preparing for a number of years, but the impact potentially on our native bird population, on our poultry industry will be significant.
Ukraine's general staff has denied Kremlin claims that Russian forces have captured the key eastern Ukrainian city of Kostyantynivka. A general staff official has labelled the Russian claims as fake. The city is regarded as one of the last Ukrainian strongholds in the Donbas region, and the seizure of the Donbas is a key Russian objective of their war. Russian President Vladimir Putin earlier hailed the liberation of Kostyantynivka, saying it was of major strategic importance. Iran has begun several days of public mourning and funeral processions for its former supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, more than 4 months after he was killed in strikes launched by the US and Israel. Larry Buttrose has more.
The Ayatollah and members of his family were killed in strikes on Tehran on the first day of the war on February the 28th. Now his body is lying in state at the capital's Grand Mosala Mosque ahead of his burial in his hometown of Mashhad next Thursday. Iranian authorities say 12 to 20 million people are expected to attend ceremonies which are part of what they are calling the funeral of the century. It comes as Iran and the US continue to observe a fragile ceasefire after signing a preliminary deal to halt their conflict and enter into talks for a permanent end to the war.
Thousands of opponents of Germany's far-right AfD party have taken to the streets of the eastern city of Erfurt, where the party's annual conference is being held ahead of regional elections that could see it take power at state level for the first time. Protesters from unions, civil society groups and left-wing parties gathered as large numbers of police, including reinforcements from across Germany, were deployed ahead of the AfD's two-day annual conference. Protesters sat in rows to block highways and roads leading to the convention centre where the event is being held. Police estimate around 15,000 people joined demonstrations in and around the city. A man who died after a house fire in Melbourne's southeast has not yet been formally identified. Emergency crews were called to a home in Springvale South just before 11 o'clock last night. Police say a man believed to be in his 60s was pulled from a room engulfed in flames and taken to the Alfred Hospital where he died. An arson chemist remains at the scene as police investigate how the fire started. Many Socceroos supporters around the country have risen early, but the day has ended in disappointment, with the Socceroos exiting the Soccer World Cup on the back of a penalty loss to Egypt this morning. Many in Adelaide were at the live site, as Talia Fay reports.
Soccer fanatics in the thousands gathered at the drive near Adelaide Oval. For those that braved the cold, it was a nail-biting game, but it ended in disappointment with the Socceroos losing out.
I had work at 9 o'clock in the morning and now I thought I was going to have some good news to tell.
There's a bit of work that we need to do.
Egypt supporters at the site erupted in cheers at their win, but say Australia played well.
Unfortunately, when it comes to Egyptian football, no one can beat us.
Many fans say they're now looking forward to the next World Cup.
Meantime, Colombia has claimed a 1-0 win over Ghana at the World Cup in their round 32 match in Kansas City. John Arias put his side ahead in the 14th minute. Colombia finished the match with 61% of possession. ABC News.
What's loaded with fun for the whole family? ABC iView. Bring it! From the investigators and caper crew to Andy Lee's Do Not Watch This Show.
You can keep watching.
Find it all on ABC iView.
Gardner with a slog sweep into the leg side, and that's that. Australia, they're into the final.
World Cup final at Lords. Can't really ask for much more.
The ICC Women's T20 World Cup Final. Australia versus England.
World Cup finals are the games that you play for.
Can Australia find their best against the best and claim their 7th T20 crown?
Harry goes big this time, clears the road. That's 6.
Join ABC Sport for ball-by-ball coverage this Sunday night on ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital and ABC Listen.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
Anderson, that's a 2-on-1 strip. He lost the ball. Was the referee called it loose? Carry, it's been taken by Calhoun. Links on the edge with Katoa, who plants the ball. Well, that is a really interesting play let go by referee Sutton. There were 3 in the tackle. I had the binoculars up on that. He awards the try. Sharks only 33 metres out. Ramian plays it quickly, given right by Buru to Hines. Chips in behind the line. He's got Katoa racing through, gathering the ball and scoring a double. Got the pass away to Gale, but he stopped a metre out. Played to Pakes. Burrowing attempt, he gets in from Tommy Half. It's a Broncos try. Tory Pakes scores for Brisbane with 7 minutes left in the first half.
Just what this contest had needed. Just what this crowd wanted.
Rugby League is on your radio. The 2026 NRL Premiership. ABC Sport Digital Radio and ABC Listen.
Plenty of sport to choose from on this Saturday night. Thanks for choosing us here at the Cauldron. My name is Quentin Hull. You're listening to NRL Saturday on ABC Sports. It's Cronulla Sutherland leading the Premiers at halftime here. Brisbane trying to avoid an 8th straight defeat. The Sharks trying to keep their tenuous grip on a spot in the bottom part of the NRL's top 8. The Sharks off the bye, 8 wins, 6 losses. They lead the game by 10 points to 6 over a reigning Premier which has won only 5 games for the season, and as mentioned, have lost their last 7. Sione Katoa with the 2 tries for the Sharks in the first half. Corey Pakes, the only try scorer for Brisbane. Earlier at Cogra, St George Illawarra defeated the West Tigers by 24 points to 10. And as mentioned, there's a lot to choose from tonight. We'll keep you up to date with everything here. You, of course, can always make your choice on ABC Listen. Probably heard that promo too. Make sure, if you've had the early morning this morning to get up for the Socceroos, plan for the late night tomorrow night into the early hours of Monday morning. Cricket on the radio from Lords in a World Cup final, and Australia's playing. Yes, please. And who are we playing? England. The World T20 just after midnight Eastern Time on ABC Sport tomorrow night / Monday morning, depending how finicky you want to be with that.
It's just a smorgasbord time of the year.
Oh, yeah.
The summer in the Northern Hemisphere, all those great events. Tour de France not far away. You've obviously got Wimbledon with the greatest tennis tournament of all time. Wrapped around Soccer World Cup, Rugby Union.
Well, speaking of the rugby, sold out at the Footy Stadium tonight. Ireland currently leading Australia there 12-10. The place to find that on the Listen app is on the ABC Sports Extra button. Australia scored a try. Just scored there in front now. 15-12. Carter Gordon has a kick goal. He's got that one. 17-12. Wallabies back in front. So that's a seesawing, entertaining affair there. ABC Sports Extra is where you can hear the call of that. The red and blue button is always where you find the AFL, getting close to half-time at the MCG. Carlton 6-7-43, lead Richmond 5-5-35. It's the grand final of the Super Netball tonight as well. Adelaide Thunderbirds 35, lead the Melbourne Vixens 22. And at SW19, put aside your Pims and your strawberries and cream for a moment and watch the Demon. Alexander Demonor, he is up a couple of breaks and leads 5-1 in the first set of his third round match, taking on the American Zachary Schrader.
Go you good thing.
Go you good thing. Players coming back out here. 10-6 first half. Really high completion rate first 15 minutes, and then it became a bit of a dropsy.
Yeah.
Where are we going from here?
Well, they had 60% of possession, the Sharks. They've been a little bit disappointed that the scoreline is what it is. So all in all, 10-6 to the Sharkies. Yeah, they earned that lead. But this ragtag bunch of Broncos, with all due respect to them, you think about the side that played in the GF to what you got here right now, plus the conference is nowhere near what it was 6 months ago. They are not out of the hunt in this game, Q. And I talked about a bit of chemistry, a bit of energy. I saw that in the last 10. I saw enough to go, wow, if they can keep their noses close in this contest, they will grow in confidence. This crowd want to get behind them. The Sharks, they need to complete high rate, and if they do, they should see a win their way.
Second half is underway. Tulty with the first carry. Brisbane with possession. They're running to the right of your radio dial and away from the Caxton Street end. Here's Corrick on debut. Josh Corrick, who had a massive hit a moment ago, just before half-time, but he's okay. Now right side rumble from Jordan Ricky, and he's taken down 15 in from touch on the right and 15 from halfway. Plays there to Pakes. Passes left and centre field from Perrin onto Corrick, and Josh Corrick with thighs pumping. A couple of Sharks to put him down. 5 inside Brisbane territory. 2 plays left in this opening set of the second half. Willison, he hits 3 defenders, gets an offload out the back to Perrin. Second phase to the right, gives it to Hunt. Then Ryan halfway, gives it to the edge for Jordan Ricky, and he's tackled on 5. 10 in from the right, 43 from the Sharks line. Last play Brisbane. Ben Hunt puts his right boot to it. It's a torpedo floating proposition, which is caught comfortably by Kennedy. 10 from his own line at the southern end. And the Sharks fullback is pushed back 6 or 7 metres. He'll play it only half a dozen from his own line. So Sharks deep at the southern end as Zane settles into his bucket chair for the second half with all the info from the Whispers at half time.
Yeah, both coaches talked about errors. He said cut down the errors coach was given. He said you've got to increase your defensive intensity. You let it yourself down in that last 20 minutes of the first half. Also, he said he wants better fifth tackle options. As for the Broncos, Broncos, they're really worried that the Sharks are getting them through the middle. They said you've got to shut them down. As we see Nico Hines go for a charge through the middle. In fact, it's a charge by Calhoun.
Tackle 8 metres inside his own half. As Puru passes right there is Hines on his own 40, end of the set. Good distance, really sweet strike with a deep right foot kick, which Perrin catches 5 from his own line. Gives it to Dean Mariner, who's tackled on the 20. And just reminding you, first game back since that round 9 game against the Roosters, where he injured his thigh and then in the middle of the night realised something wasn't right. And he escaped a pretty serious situation there with some compartment syndrome. He's got a right thigh strapping. He's out there and is tackled now. 15 from halfway, so great to see him back at the footy, but he's got that right thigh heavily protected, as you'd expect. Tolte with a dummy and straighten. He's standing and eventually crumbles to deck under 3 Sharks tacklers. 7 inside Brisbane territory, centre of the park. Options either side for Pates. Gives it to Corrick, dragged down by the tackle of Kafusi. Last play Brisbane, 46 from the Sharks line. Duffy with the bomb. 10 metres out, it'll come down. But again, no real challenge on Kennedy, who takes the catch and runs upfield and short of the 20 on the kick return.
Again, what the first half, the start of this second half has been high quality. That energy that I talked about the Broncos, it's transferred across in attack and defence in the opening stages of this second stanza.
Katoa for the Sharks. He scored 2 tries. He's 10 from halfway here. Now Eero left edge of the ruck. Gains a dozen down the middle third. Gets into attacking territory for Cronulla. Plays it to Puru, who goes on a dummying scoot. Tackled. Last place as the ref. 35 out the Sharks. Given to the left for Trendle. Trendle will bomb. It'll come down about 8 metres out. And it's caught by the Broncos. It's caught by the Broncos, and Perham defuses the bomb 8 from his own line. Pass goes infield to Staggs.
They're up against it. You can see they've won the arm wrestle on that set of 6 to the Sharks. Broncos coming out of their 10.
Staggs tackled 10 from his own line. Now Anderson runs infield, can't get to the 20. Still about 18 metres from his own line for the Broncos. Played to Hunt. That's Ben. We haven't seen Jaden. We might not see him tonight. But now Shibasaki tackled midway goal line and halfway. Given to the middle third for Perham. And he gets an offload away, which took a Sharks touch. It bobbles around. It's jumped on by Wilton. What does the referee say?
Knock on Sharks.
Knock on Sharks.
That was a good carry by Perham. Put his nose through, offloaded out the back, was touched by the Sharks. So they were on the rake a little bit there, the Bronx, but again, that little bit of energy I talked about transferred through. A couple of good carries.
Tess and Baby Beck, g'day to them. They always listen to us from the Western Stand. These days, ABC Sport Rapid gets you closer to the action than ever before. Thank you. They reckon if the Broncos get 50% possession in the second half, they can win it.
Well, if they can continue with the energy, line speed, they're not out of the contest for sure.
5 minutes played second half. No change to the scoreline of Cronulla 10, Brisbane 6, NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Willison for the Bronx gets to halfway. Hunt passes right. Perrin's met though by good line speed and good first up contact from Wilton. Makes the tackle. Played by Brisbane, 41 out. Left and centre field, the pass to Hunt. Gives it to a straightening run from Corrick, who's been pretty impressive on debut.
That's the 4th carry in this second half.
24-year-old plays the ball. 35 out, left it goes. Hunt gives it on to Tolte. Tolte is tackled. 25 from the Sharks line, slightly left of centre. Last play, Pakes passes blind for Duffy. Duffy bombs, and it's well caught out there by Katoa, the defensive right side for Cronulla, a couple of metres from his own line. Didn't really ask many questions in the end. Well, such was the good nature of the catch from Katoa. Ramian gets to the 10. Quick play the ball to Hines. Katoa quickly to the 20. And those 2 plays for the Sharks just alleviate the pressure already with a couple of good runs to start the set. Now expansion to the left. Trindle gives it out there to Mulatalo. Beats the one-on-one strip attempt of Hunt before getting an offload away under the tackle of Staggs. He flipped it out the side to Wilton. Wilton is picked up and dumped in a beautiful rattler from Tolte. Now Kafusi passes right for Hines. Double cut out to the right edge. Little bit of space here for Ramian, but Shibasaki makes the one-on-one tackle. Last play Cronulla. Oh, miscommunication there. Went to Billy Burns. He thought, what, me? Knocked it backwards, cleaned it up. Got good purchase on the kick in the end. Booted it downfield. Taken by the Broncos on their 20. Perrin gives it to Mariner. Mariner runs back to the 30 and almost gets to the 40 on the kick return.
Billy Burns, great kick, unexpected, made the most of it. But just from the backfield, you can see Dean Mariner. What a welcome inclusion he is. He brings it back with venom every time.
Broncos now into attacking territory on the run of Grant Anderson. He's still got that left knee heavily strapped from an incident earlier in the year. Just his sixth game of the campaign for the Warriors-bound former Storm player. Tulty now goes forward. 35 out when he plays it. Broncos on the attack. Willison runs at the line, gives it. He taps it to the edge. It's cleaned up by Mariner. He got a messy ball and is tackled now. 11 in from touch on the right and 30 metres out. He plays it. Perham passes infield to Hunt. Ben Hunt from the 30. Bombs. Oh, that's too deep from Ben. He'd be really disappointed for a man of his experience. He's kicked it into the in goal and a 20-metre restart. 7 tackles set. Katoa catches, gave a pass. Then it's knocked on by the Broncos. Willison got in the way of that pass for Hines, but Willison knocked it on.
Yeah, thankfully he did that because they were on the rake a little bit, the Broncos.
Well, back to the kick from Ben Hunt. That's poor from a man of his standards.
Gee, it's a strip. Because he grabbed hold of the arm, which dislodged the ball. Yeah, you can just see, he did actually get a touch on it, Willison, but had he not made that, they would have been into the backfield and the Bronx would have been in a lot of trouble.
You know what? They had got the ascendancy through the middle of the Broncos, and that kick just took it all away from them, Q. They'll be so disappointed.
Quick around the grounds. Alex Demonor's claimed that first set, 6-2 over the American Zach Schweider in the third round of Wimbledon, and the Wallabies lead Ireland 24-12 with 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Here, no change to that half-time score. Sharks 10, Broncos 6. Kafusi's got it for the men from the Shire. Taken 5 inside his own half. Played to Puru off right shoulder. Talakai has a go. Not a great game, but a quick play the ball. Puru one-handed pickup. Passes left for Trindle over the 40. Gives it on to Ramian. Dragged down by the tackle of Staggs around his ankles and Mariner up top. Last play, Cronulla. 28 metres from the Broncos line. Trindle puts up a bomb, which will come down 5 metres from the goal line. Perham leaks brilliantly for Brisbane. Defuses the bomb. Clean catch. He's jumped on by Haltapua, who's out there. So the Sharks have completed their 4 interchanges. Beryl, Kafusi, Talakai and Haltapua being used tonight by Craig Fitzgibbon and the Sharks. Still got 31 minutes left in this game. Tight 9 minutes to open the second. As you mentioned, Billy, very much like the start of the game as the Broncos are up to the 20.
Yeah, it's good. Throwing football. They're throwing it around. Risking.
That's a loose pass. What's the referee say here? Penalty Brisbane. Marker not square. On what was in the end a pretty loose pass from Ben Hunt out of dummy half.
Well, they needed that, the Bronx. Just on a little bit of pressure. This gets them out of harm's way. Good touch finder will put them probably 40 out from their line. But Hayes Perham, he dropped one earlier on the night, but he's been as safe as houses since then. I've just probably jinxed him, but he certainly lifted to the occasion.
Kick for touch is found 5 from halfway. Out on the eastern side, again, well-attended night of footy here.
Not
quite as many as they'll get here on Wednesday, Billy. Not quite the atmosphere, mind you, that is. It's one of the most special things in Australian sport. Top Origin at the Cauldron. And when they're playing a decider, that's the creme de la creme. As right side Perham up to the 30. Italy flick to no one on the wing. Doesn't go over the touchline, but hold on.
There's a penalty here. He was held back.
Yeah, Braden Trimble brought down to Tony Staggs, who was trying to support, and the Broncos are saying that was a try-scoring opportunity. It should be 10 minutes in the bin.
Well, it was, a bit hard to say try-scoring, but they'll say 30 odd metres out, but they would have ended in the backfield. So without a doubt,
It's over here, mate.
Want to get in touch? 0467 920 222.
Definitely a professional foul.
0467 920 222. But no, just the penalty.
Well, this is a great opportunity. These Broncos, as I said, their energies have shifted in the last 10 minutes of that first half, and they've carried on in the second half.
Corrick with the first carry taken 21 metres out from the Sharks line. Broncos on the attack to the southern end, to the left. Hunt to Duffy, given to Gale. The other first gamer he's met. Almost got through the tackle of Ramian. Needs some help there. And they just get it to put him down. 15 in from the left, 22 out. One man to the right. wide for Tolte. Tolte just eats up a dozen metres. Running towards that southern end. He'll play it only 13 from the goal line. Pakes passes right through the hands of Hunt to Duffy. Second man on knocked on. The pass was out in front of Perham. And it goes to Deck, and that comes unstuck for Brisbane. And Trindle comes up with it. Now out of dummy half, a little blindside run from Kennedy, pinched 15 before he got chopped down. But the Sharks have got it. Broncos shoot themselves in the foot there, and Wilton runs infield for Cronulla Sutherland, and that's a good carry. Teague Wilton takes the Sharkies to within a dozen of halfway. 10-6 the scoreline. You're listening to NRL Saturday.
Great tackle.
ABC Sport.
Wilson.
Yeah, he's been some good hits. Now, Beryl down the middle third. It was Ramian down the middle third. Plays it to Puru. Given on to Haltapua. Tackled on 5. Sharks are 40 metres from the Brisbane line. End of set. Puru passes to Trindle. Trindle puts up another bomb. It'll come down 10 metres out. Perham catches again. Mulatalo's there to make the tackle and put him down.
Zano, I think Wilson, he's followed up with another big shot. He's probably hurt himself. He's done his shoulder, maybe a burner.
Either a burner or an AC. He's trying to run it off. I think it must be a burner because he thinks he can play on, but he's a lot of pain there with that right shoulder.
Broncos 10 from their own line. Mariner plays it. Staggs has a run, but met by the defence of Wilton. Still only 15 from their own line, Brisbane. Anderson down the middle third. No great game, but midway goal line and halfway. Sharks manning up in defence here as Preston Ricky runs down the middle third. Taken only 12 from halfway. End of set, Ben Hunt inside the 40. Kicks downfield, but kicks right down the middle corridor. It rolls into the in-goal area near the goal post. Katoa takes it, gives it on to Kennedy. Nice little exchange. Kennedy gets beyond the 10 on the kick return. And Trindle has to race to get into dummy half after Staggs made the tackle. Passes back to Katoa, short of the 20. Well, this does feel like that first half put on repeat. Very good completion, very high intensity. Ramian dump, short of the 30. Now Hines passes to the right. Billy Burns steps infield, beats a tackle or two and offloads brilliantly. Hero running infield. He's tackled, chucks it out the back. Uru taps it to the left for Trindle. Razzle-dazzle stuff. Passes to the wing to Mulatalo. Runs into the tackle of Mariner and is put down 20 metres out. No one at marker. So Ramian has a scoot, loses his footing, chucks it to the right. Picked up on the bounce fortuitously by Haltapua for the Sharks, who's tackled centre field and 28 metres out. Last play of this ragtag set, which has had a bit of ambition about it. Hines with a bomb to the right edge. Knocked on by Anderson. Cleaned up by Shibasaki. Yep, referee calls knock on Bronx.
Yeah, that's going to be a big shift here to the Sharks. Drop ball by Anderson in the air. They're not challenging it. It was the contest. Yeah, that's a fair contest. So centre field scrum 10 out. This is a crucial set of 6 for the Broncos to try and defend because the Sharks are on the front foot now, and a try here will be a big advantage for the boys from the Shire.
2 tries to 1, 10 points to 6 the scoreline. No score in 15 minutes of this second half. Sharks go left. Hines on to Ramian. One-on-one tackle made by Staggs. Ramian to play at left edge. 10 metres out. Nico goes to the blind side. Got taken by Hunt. Gives it back to Ramian. Ramian runs into Mariner, who needs help. Jordan Ricky's there to stop him. Only a metre out left edge for the Sharks. Mulatalo passes right in centre field. From Hines to Trindle. Onto Kafusi. He trucks it forward. Takes it to Deck. Sharks are 10 metres out centre park. Puru back to the left for Trindle. Says to Wilton, come in field. Wilton obeys. Gets the pass. Gets taken down by a 2-man Broncos tackle. 5 to the left and 5 out. Now Puru right in centre field to Haltapua. He's tackled. 3 out under the black dot. Last play Sharks to the right. Trindle floating ball to the edge. Brilliant for Katoa. 1, 2, 3 tries for Sione Katoa for the Sharks. And Cronulla extends its lead to 14-6. Kick to come.
It doesn't take much. It's just little 1%ers that make big differences when you add them up, and that was a drop ball by the winger Grant Anderson under enormous pressure by the try scorer Katoa. Brought about the error, and the ensuing set of 6 was Trindle with the money ball. Clever. He's a great 5'8". He realised the space down the eastern side of the ground, and a beautiful double cutout Harbour Bridge pass into the breadbasket of Katoa, who basically went across untouched. Good try by the Sharks. They made the most of the opportunity they were gifted by the Broncos era, and that's what's cost the boys from Brisbane so many times in the last couple of months. They just keep self-destructing.
Yeah, bow and arrow keeps getting fired, doesn't it, by Sione Katoa? That's his first hat-trick since 2022 when he managed to get 3 tries against the New Zealand Warriors. And look, you almost think if Nico Hines can pilot this one over, 10 points might be enough against this patched-up, beaten-up Broncos. 38,998 people in the crowd queue trying to stop Nico from kicking it.
5 in from touch on the right, 25 metres out. He's only kicked 1 from 4 tonight, Nico Hines. Now with the right boot strike, that sounded good. It looks good too. And the flags are raised for Cronulla 16, Brisbane 6, with 22 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game. Meanwhile, let's go around the grounds. Half-time in the rugby at the Footy Stadium, and the Wallabies lead Ireland by 24 points to 17. Good start from Australia. Wallabies 24, Ireland 17. Call on ABC Sport Extra on ABC Listen. AFL half-time, Carlton lead Richmond by 8 points at 7-7-49 to 6-5-41. Super Netball Grand Final, Adelaide Thunderbirds 45, Melbourne Vixens 29 as Trindle makes a mess of the kickoff and can't control the footy. The Bronx come through and jump on it. It's Corrick who's got it. Cronulla failed to field the kickoff and Brisbane's on the attack. Preston Ricky has a go at the line. He's tackled only a couple of metres out and there's a wavy fisty for a hold on in the ruck. There's the ping to attest to it as now Preston Ricky, he's taken down, put to the deck, 8 from the goal line, 5 to the right of the uprights, Pakes to the left, Perham gives it on to Hunt, double cut out to the left edge for Shibasaki. Nice read from Ramian to make the tackle and put him down. Shibasaki plays it to Gale, who passes infield to Duffy and then on to Willison. Xavier Willison on a straightening run. He's got 3 defenders around him and eventually crumbles to turf, loses a boot in the process, and he'll play it only 3 metres out. He lost his left boot, plays it with his right studs. Pass goes right from Duffy to Hunt. Dummies infield, gives it to the edge for Perham, who has to stop. Defence shifts, and the tackle is made by Wilton and Kennedy. Broncos out on the right edge. Passed infield by Staggs to Duffy. Given on to Preston Ricky. Tackled 8 metres out. Last play, Broncos. Pass blindside right, Perham. Goes himself. Tackled short. Great tackle, Trindle. Got around his hips. He got some help in that tackle as well from Wilton. And the Sharks survive as the Bronx roll the dice but come up short on the last.
Yeah, great tackle by Trindle. The knock on or the change of possession was off the back of him not being able to catch the kick-off. But he did a try saver there which redeemed that mistake. Well done, the Sharks.
Heroes short of the 20 as Cronulla try and run it upfield. Now a jiving run from Sione Katoa, just a 3rd career hat-trick for him as he's tackled here at the other end of the park, defensive end on his own 30. Infield runs Mulatalo and Ronaldo playing in the NRL, not at the World Cup, 15 from halfway. Now a little dancing move there from Hines, almost found a way through. And Nico stopped in the middle of Lang Park. Last play, Puru passes right for Trindle, who kicks for grass, finds it. It skims kindly though into the chest of Mariner on the one hop, 10 from his own line. Kick return gets just beyond the 20, and Brisbane will start this set at the old quarter line down at the Caxton Street end. Anderson out of dummy up at 3 defenders in his face. We've got 20 minutes to go here. Brisbane trying to snap a 7-game losing streak. The Sharks trying to stay inside the top 8. It's 16 points to 6 to Cronulla as Jordan Ricky out on the right edge for Brisbane is put down. 15 from halfway, 15 from right touch. Moses out there for the Bronx, so he's the last activated. Got nailed. Big tackle from Talakai. Seeper's put on a few of those. Zano felt that one. He wasn't even in it.
Oh, it was right in front of me, and the big fella thought he was wearing that.
Hunt's kick downfield has been brilliantly taken by Katoa. Puts on a goose step on halfway before Ben Hunt runs him down. It was a bit of a tumbling last play kick. Katoa attacked it, got it, and scooched 50 metres downfield to now give the Sharks good field position to attack this set. Hazelton tackled on a middle third rumble. He's 28 metres out. Played to Puru, given to the right for Hines. He to Burns, and Burns has stopped. 22 in from the right and 22 metres from the Broncos line. Now infield to the left, Hines on to Sifa Talakai, and Big Sia Sifa has got three defenders around him. Holds him up 10 metres out. Plays it there to Puru, given left for Hines. Dummies, looks back right, gives it to a stationary Hazelton, and the big forward says, well, I'll just get the thighs pumping and I'll take three of the under the black dot, and that's where I'll play it. Last play, a metre out. Puru passes right for Hines through the hands, given to Kennedy, beats the tackle of Duffy. Kennedy goes in to score for the Sharks. A dummy and scoot from Will Kennedy, but on this slippery night, he was too slippery for Tom Duffy. And the Sharks go further ahead. They lead 20-6. Kick to come.
Well, there's still 18 minutes to go in this game, but that, I think, might be the nail in the coffin. Great carry back by Sione Katoa. Picked up a bit of a messy little kick through, made 50, brought down by Hunt. And two tackles later from the centre field, they go down on the right side shift, which is bared, plenty of fruit. And this here was no different. Will Kennedy just played too fast, too big, too strong on the outside of Tom Duffy. He just couldn't handle the electric fullback from the Sharks, and not many people can. When he's in full flight, he is a dangerous player. Had ball in both hands, got the centre to come up, Shibasaki, which then meant he was able to isolate the smaller 5'8", back on his inside and went through virtually untouched, grounded the ball. Well done, William Kennedy. Well done, Sharks.
Yeah, Bubba from Bathurst, 7 tries for the season, 58 for his career. And look, I know you're reluctant to give the 3 votes to wingers, Bill, but the performance we've seen tonight from Sione Katoa, he helped set that up. I reckon he's heading towards the 3 votes.
Just a little suggestion there, Zane. Quite provocative of you.
Well, no, you have to, without a doubt, it was going through my mind as well. Zane, he has been electric.
And this is the same spot that Hines converted the try of Katoa just a couple of moments ago. Back-to-back tries for the Sharks. Hines with his right boot, 5 in from right touch, 25 out. Oh, that hits the uprights. Once on the left, once on the right, and then goes over it, pinged off both posts, and goes through.
Did it touch all 3?
I don't know whether it touched the crossbar, but I'm pretty sure there was a ping-ping in a different context there.
Definitely ping-ping. I think we'll in a ping-ping.
Could have been a 3-ping.
Oh, come on, boys. Don't talk about crossbars. I'm still having visions from this morning.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
22 points to 6. Cronulla, Sutherland. Got a text here says, I'm listening from London. Whose voices am I hearing commentating up the Bronx? You're hearing from Quentin Hull, former Maroon, Billy Moore, and Zane Bojak on the touchline. That's Billy saying, oh, what? The Cowboy, the Sharks nearly muffed up the kick-off again. It rolled close to the dead ball line before Ramian got the ball.
Well, Trindle last time got a foot to it and bounced back 30 metres to the Bronx. That time he missed the whole thing and went 20 metres nearly over the in-goal line.
0467 920 222 is that number to get in touch as Hines is out on the right side. Gee, Nico looks a different player now that they've worked out. Tricky, you kick it and I'll run it.
Yep.
It's market, isn't it?
He's a runner. You're right, he's a running player.
Puru gives it to Trindle. Doesn't kick that time. Instead feeds it to the inside line for Hazelton to take the Sharks to almost halfway. End of the set off the kick-off, and here is the kick from Trindle with his right boot. Deep downfield, taken by the Parham defensive right corner, and he is tackled with that kickoff again going a bit weird. Didn't get the around the grounds. Half-time in the rugby. Australia 24, lead Ireland 19. Super Netball Grand Final last quarter. Thunderbirds 54, dominating the Vixens 34. Third term of the AFL's just underway. Blues lead the Tigers by 8 points here. Cronulla 22, Brisbane 6. Broncos with the ball. Jordan Ricky just beyond half. halfway, middle third when taken by 3 defenders. Will play the ball to Moser. Looks left but passes right to Perham. Runs into the defence led by Talakai, who got help from Wilton and also Burns. Last play Brisbane, 39 metres from the Sharks line. Passes to the right for Hunt, who doesn't always sort of met as he kicks it downfield. It's a shallow kick, which Kennedy catches really well. 15 from his own line. 15 minutes and 7, 6 and counting. 22-6 Sharks. Where's the twist in the plot here, Billy? Are we on a straight line to an 8th straight defeat for the Bronx?
Well, if the Sharks don't self-destruct, if they complete, it's a foregone conclusion from here.
And that would be ahead of a bye, and then their next 2 games are Penrith at Western Sydney Stadium and North Queensland in Townsville. The Premiers could be staring down 10 losses in a row.
Newcastle the week after that, Q, chuck them into the mix as well.
Oh, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but yeah, you're right, it doesn't get easier. Nico Hines has got it. Sharks, by the way, they go home before coming back here to play the Finns next week. Lost ball here. Hazelton had it pinched by Preston. Ricky on halfway. Ricky's tackled. Broncos have got it, and it's played right in the middle of Lang Park. Brisbane with the ball. They've got time if they score next. 14 minutes to go. 22-6 to the Sharks, but they've got to do it soon, the Bronx. Well, Preston Ricky almost overran the line there of Moser. Lucky it wasn't called forward. Ricky tackled on the 30. Moser now passes to Dozer. Moser to Dozer. That's Ben Hunt and beats the inside line there, but the tackle is made on Semu. 22 out. Back to the left. Duffy's pass to Shibasaki. Brilliantly tackled by Katoa coming in from his right edge. Scoring and defending. He's had a great night. Back to the right for Duffy. Grubbers. He's got Perham running through. Perham beats Wilton for the ball. And Perham scores for Brisbane under the black dot. So don't go anywhere just yet.
Well, we did say, are they a chance? And I said, if the Sharks don't self-destruct, they're cactus, the Broncos. Well, what they do? 2 tackles later, Hazelton gets the ball taken off him, and by Ricky, and the ensuing set of 6, they cross for a great try. Duffy put a beautiful way to kick through, because you can see the fullback, Hayes Perham, set off on a course where he was able to intersect the kick that went along the ground. A beautiful grubber. He was the first man there, snatched it away from...
Oh, hold on. Oh, no, referee says okay. For a moment I thought he was going to have a look.
He snatched it off Wilton, and great work, great conversion.
And as you said, from straight in front converts.
12 minutes 30 to go, you're right, Q. This game's not done, as I said. If the Sharks complete, they're okay. But completion, Zano, has not been their forte tonight.
Oh, they've been clunky. How long are they going to be clunky for? It seems like the last 3 years. They sort of get themselves into positions where they can contend for the premiership, and then they just fall short at the back end. But throughout the year, they just sort of they middle their way towards a top 4 finish. They're going to have to be a bit better than that this year to finish top 4 this season, can I tell you? But Hayes Perham will remember that for the rest of his life. Q, first try as a Bronco.
And first try since round 15 of 2023, when he was playing for Canterbury against Parramatta. Of course, at his 4th club, having been through the Warriors and Para before Canterbury, and then injuries, and first try as a Bronco, first try in more than 3 years in the NRL. Broncos have got it off the kick-off, 12 minutes to go. And working their way upfield, Preston Ricky to the 30. They score next. You listen to the cauldron start to bubble on this Saturday night. Hunt to the right. Jordan Ricky up to halfway. Good carry. Trindle there to make the tackle with Ramian. Play to Moser. Passes left in field, centre field to Hunt. Gives a flat ball on to Semu. Just held on to it. And then, was it Semu? Yes, it was. He's tackled 35 out. End of set. Ben Hunt from 35 out. Bombs. It'll come down 10 out. Caught by Sione Katoa. 10 from his own line. And he tackled there, but he defuses the bomb. And the Sharks now can set about the task of running the ball back up from the southern end. Ramian first carry. 15 from his own line and tackle. Played to Hines. Gives to Mulatalo. Ronnie's listening in Johannesburg. He says, is Katoa playing both wings? Where's Ronaldo? Well, there he is. He had a run. And here's a penalty going to Brisbane.
So that's way back previous play. Someone's been taken out, maybe?
Now, what have we got there, Zane? I'm trying to work out what the penalty was for.
No, I can't work it out either, Q. I was following the ball.
Oh, out of play.
So almost like a shepherd.
Right, okay. So Brisbane, off the benefit of that call at 10 metres out and on the attack. Hunt gives it on to Gale. The debutant is taken down low by Beryl. Up top by Smith. Played. Given to Burn, should I say. Given to the right edge. And Preston Ricky loses it under a rib rattler from Trendle. What a great tackle. Got under his ribs. That is classic. Oh, the axe is smiling. Where's your old mate Trevor Gilmister? That was textbook rugby league rib rattler and ball lost.
Similar size, same execution as the axe. What a shot from the 5'8", Braden Trendle. It was a high pressure pass. Ricky on the burst and a much smaller Trendle hitting perfectly.
Well, that's a big play for the Sharks.
Huge.
22-12 they lead, 9.5 minutes to go. Have the contest in hand, but they're away from home, and the Premiers have just scored the last try, so that'll perhaps settle a nerve or two. Katoa to the 20, and now Burns up to the 30. Billy Burns will play it to Beryl. Beryl at dummy half, jumps out of dummy half, gives it on to McInnes. The veteran skipper's back out there for the Sharkies, and he's put on his back 11 metres his own side of halfway. Beryl at dummy half gives to Hazelton. Good run down the middle third. Give him 10 on a charge right to the middle of the park. Last play, Cronulla. Trendle with his right boot. It's a high and deep kick downfield. Caught right corner by Mariner. 10 from his own line for Brisbane. Runs infield. Meets the defence led by Calhoun. And the Broncos a dozen from the Caxton Street in goal. With only 9 minutes left, Cronulla lead the game by 22 points to 12. It's NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Quentin Hull leading the team with Billy Moore and Zane Bojack at the cauldron. And the Premiers are staring down the barrel of an 8th straight defeat. Tulty gets to the 30. Now given left. Ben Hunt gives it through the hands, but good three-man defence there. Hines along with Burns and also Hazelton on the tackle for Shibasaki, who was only on the 30. Now back down the middle third, Tulty. He has a run. He's tackled 12 from halfway. Ben Hunt receives, has a little run, gets tackled, chucks an optimistic ball to the wing. It's the last, so it's cleaned up by Mariner. He has to boot it desperately downfield. Not a great kick. Kennedy was well placed, and the kick return from the Sharks fullback has them 8 from halfway. And the referee has to hold things up for a moment. Just to get things square, I think, with the play of the ball. Hines has a run. Sharks have got 8 minutes to go here to try and bank a 9th win. And, gee, you sort of try and work out the permutations of the 8. The Sharks have had all of their buys, so 8 wins, but the 6 extra points for 3 buys has them inside the 8. You also look at wins that they'll be needing this 9th win.
Definitely, without a doubt. They should be able to ice it from here.
Down the middle third, to the right, McInnes gives to Hines. Little flat ball, and Burns almost got through. Nice tackle on the edge by Sibasaki. Blindside, Beryl at dummy half, passes to Hines. Chips for the in-goal area. It bounces, touch in goal. Out to the 20 for a 7-tackle set for the Broncos with 7 minutes and change left. Cronulla, Sutherland 22, Brisbane 12.
This is a big set of 6 here, 7 tackles. They've got to try and get into the backfield. Oh, and a penalty.
Sharks offside.
Wow, that's a touch finder here, so that should put them a bit over halfway. Good touch finder, right on halfway. So they're on the front foot. They'll have the field position, Q. Whether they can take advantage of it is another thing.
Full time in the Super Netball. The Thunderbirds have won the title. It's all over there. Thunderbirds 61 have beaten the Melbourne Vixens 40. Here with that kick downfield. First carry, Shibasaki gets to the 40. Second carry, Tulty. He's 35 out. Brisbane trailing by 10. Moser has a run. Feeds it to Willison. Nice tackle, Hazelton. Lang Park faithful getting hopeful though with 20 metres out and on the attack Moser. He's trying to have a little run Marin a scoop, but he runs into the tackle of Calhoun and Beryl. He'll play it. There's 6.5 to go. Sharks lead by 10. Hunt to the right, gives it on to Preston Ricky. He's met though by 4 Sharks defenders and held up. Still a dozen from the goal line. Played to Moser, given right for Perham, runs at the line. Bullet pass to the edge. Brilliant delivery for Mariner. And on return from that life-threatening leg injury, Dean Mariner scores to keep the contest alive. But what a pass from Hayes Perham.
Wow. He's done a few things tonight which have been exceptional. Actually, Hayes Perham, he obviously scored one, but that was Moser. And the thing about that was pretty awesome, Zano, was he overcalled Ben Hunt. He overcalled Duffy down the left-hand side. He said, give me the ball. And he's taken it the short side, rolled all the dice, last tackle, and a double cutout, bullet pass through to the winger, Dean Mariner, who's looked very, very at home in his first game back in months. Well done, the Broncos. Where there's life, there is hope.
I know there's been a little while between drinks for Dean Mariner's try scoring, but I love how he did the bow and arrow just like Katoa, whether that was a bit of a send-up of him.
Big kick this for Tom Duffy. Right wing touch, 25 out. He's hooked it across the face and has missed it. 2 from 3, so the margin is 6 in favour of Cronulla with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game.
That was a wonderful bullet pass by Hayes Perham. They said double cut out, foot off. Last tackle, rolled the dice, overcalled the halves. That was brave and well done.
And you know what the key was at 2 Bill? He didn't just take it behind the line and pass it. He went into the line and then through the bullet pass. That takes a lot of courage when you're only, a bloke who gets a chance every now and again.
So Trendle kicks off for the Sharks. This is a big 4 minutes and 50 seconds in both teams' seasons. Tolte runs it back for the Broncos. Taken a dozen from the Caxton Street in goal. He holds the back of his head as if there was an illegal play in the tackle, and the referee has come to the party. Crusher tackle, penalty Bronx. This is a cheap 25 to 30 metres with the kick downfield.
Yeah, piggyback penalty out. That's exactly what the Bronx wanted on report by looks of it.
I think it's Cam McInnes, was it? There was a few in that tackle. Maybe Billy Burns, who was in that tangle.
I think Billy Burns.
Maybe McInnes was the first contact, but anyway, the kick finds touch 15 from halfway, 4 minutes 20. And Cronulla lead by 6. Shibasaki taps and goes as a second football comes onto the field. Referee doesn't mind. They say, play with the one you got. Shibasaki does. Plays it to Moser. Give it to Tolte. Tolte runs to halfway. And now the touchy kicks the ball, that second ball, off the field. Bronx to halfway. Tolte plays it to Moser. 6 the difference. Cronulla lead. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Willison down the middle third. He's caught 40 out. Plays it to Moser. Directed right to Hunt. Through the hands of Duffy to the right edge. Oh, Parents pass it to Staggs is dropped. Picked up by the Sharks. Trindle's mopped up. Trindle's pumping the legs. Trindle runs 60 metres to seal the game for Cronulla.
Well done. The 5'8" for the Sharks. Picked up the scraps. They went down this western side of the field, the Bronx. And Hayes Perham has thrown it on to Staggs. It's probably a little bit hard. Staggs drops it, and they swoop on the ball. The Sharkies, and Trindle, those old little pins of his, were pumping, and he wasn't able to be run down. He just makes it, crosses the line. Great try by the Sharks. That's the end of the Broncos comeback.
Q fans into aisles at Lang Park, Zano, with 3 minutes 30 to go. 26-16 kick to come.
You know what? I'm a bit slow on the uptake, aren't I? Of course, we're paying tribute to Joy Arrow in July, so that's why we're getting all the bow and arrow try celebrations. And didn't he pull that one back there, the quiver, and boom, off it went. Braden Trindle, what a fantastic run. Those little legs, the former Caboolture snake, he was running. He thought, oh, I'm going to get there, I'm going to get there. Ricky reaches out, can't get there, and he goes over Braden Trindle. Be a lot of friends and family here from Upper Caboolture, and he would have loved every minute of that.
Don't even need to change trains from Milton to get to Caboolture Station. Same line.
Yep, that's 100% right.
Yep.
50 cents.
50 cents, that's right. And
good on you, Bill. You're a public transport enthusiast. I like it.
I love it.
8th try of the season for Braden Trindle. And this is a really good win for the Sharks off the bye, having had that last start loss to the Roosters at the Footy Stadium before they had their third and final break of the season. And missing 3 big names tonight in Whanua, Blake, Nickera and Brayley as Hines from the sideline. Oh, I think that one kissed some upright as well as it goes over. And a little touch on the right upright. Hines, what's he got now? 4 from 7. And Cronulla, they're going to win it. The Sharks lead 28-16 with 2.5 minutes to go.
Well, soul searching, I'm not sure. Denial, probably. Zano can talk more about what he's been hearing in the press conferences, but from here, there's, for us, Zano, I think mathematically, is it now impossible?
Well, it gets boring because the journos want Madge to call the season dead, but Madge won't call it dead until the maths isn't there. And really, it's just a power struggle between the Brisbane media and the Brisbane coach.
Yeah.
Which can get a bit tedious, but we just talk in football realism. This is a reigning premier that is going to go into round 19 with 5 wins and 11 losses and 8 losses on the skid.
And they need to win 8 of their last 8 to be any chance, which I think, given what Huey just said, is defensible.
Yeah, they've lost 8 in a row. Anyway. Short restart attempted by the Broncos. Well, it was affected, but they didn't get the ball back. And McInnes now has it for the Sharks. Cam McInnes, his final year as a Sharkie before he heads to York in the Super League. And there's a lot of these guys we knew that was going to be a part of the story of the season. So many of them coming off contract, they're going elsewhere. But there's unfinished business for this mob that's been pretty close the last few seasons under Craig Fitzgibbon. As here he is, McInnes on another carry, 22 metres out in centre field as he stopped. Plays the ball to Puru, passes right for Hines, steps off his right, passes back to Puru. Nice tackle, Brillison cuts him down as they ran it on the last. It's a handover, there's 70 seconds left. And the Broncos are only 8 metres from their own line.
I thought they might actually try to go a field goal just to practice that in-game simulation for later in the season, but they rolled the dice and the Broncos were good enough to defend it.
They rarely do things with, Cronulla is not going to be a team which you're going to walk away saying, wow, that was impressive, but they just get things done.
Well, they're patchy.
They're a footy team that gets things done with, there's a few moments of brilliance here and there. As they shift it to the left here, the Broncos. Duffy gives it out to Shibasaki's edge, but he's cut down by the tackle there of Burns and also Hines. Now Tolte for Brisbane runs over halfway. The Bronx have got their third and final bye coming up next week before they then go to Western Sydney Stadium to play the premiership leaders, the Panthers. Duffy with the bomb at the end of the set. It'll come down 20 metres out and it's well caught by the hat-trick try scoring Sione Katoa. They get a penalty as well, the Sharks. And we're inside the final 10 seconds and the men from the Shire will return from the bye with a well-earned victory, and Brisbane's premiership defence slumps to a further deepening low. It's now 8 losses on the trot for the reigning champs. Game over. Cronulla Sutherland 28 beat Brisbane 16. 3 tries to Katoa. Kennedy and Trindle also scored. Hines kicked 4 from 7. While for the Broncos, Pakes, Perham and Mariner scored. Duffy kicked 2 from 3. Sharks led 10-6 at halftime. Got out to a 22-6 lead before Brisbane scored 2 in a row. It was 22-16 with only 5 minutes to go. But the Trindle mop-up of a loose ball and 60-metre scoot was the final and most telling try in the end. 28-16 Sharks, who are now 9-6 before they head home for a snooze or two in their own beds before coming back to these parts and heading up to the Peninsula to play the Finns next Saturday.
Well, based on what we've seen in season 26, They'll need to improve on this performance to be able to rattle the Finns, especially at Dolphin Oval. But well done, the Sharkies. Bounced back from they had a bye, but the week before that they lost to the they lost to the Roosters. So that's a welcome return to the winner's circle. And for the Broncos, well, reasonable, but nowhere near good enough. And it was a ragtag team when you looked at it. There was a couple of debutants, a couple of injuries, missing obviously Origin players, and a couple of notables that their seasons have seemed to have finished early. But all in all, the Broncos were just off the pace, just a little bit clunky when they needed to be smooth. And then when you look at the players who were there in the campaign in 25, that's why they're a bit clunky.
Zano, I thought you had your target there, and I think you do. Hayes Perham's just congratulating a few of the Sharks players, or is he brushed you, Zano?
He had some good moments, Hayes Perham, the fullback.
Or maybe he's just finishing chatting to a few of the... here he comes. No, of course, no one brushes the great Bojack, particularly when he's wearing his watermelon shorts.
Down here with Hayes Perham. Firstly, Hayes, wasn't your fault that the Bronx lost tonight, mate. You had a great game. What was it like getting the chance to wear that number 1 jersey for the Brisbane Broncos to get your first try?
Yeah, I'm always very blessed to be... Yeah, I'm always very blessed to be in here. In the position I am, to obviously come back from the knee recur last year. It was a pretty dark time, but, I've enjoyed every day coming out with these boys. I know we haven't, got the results for the past, couple months, but, you wouldn't be able to tell that the way we turn up to training. We turn up with a smile and we fucking have a crack every single day that we're in. So I couldn't, give it up to these boys anymore.
There's no doubt the intensity's been there, the want to win's been there, and the last 2 weeks just haven't been able to get the W. What do you reckon
the ball just doesn't roll our way, and we had a couple tough positions there. So like I said, bro, sometimes it doesn't go your way, and I guess tonight was one of those nights. But we can't really fight our effort either way.
What about Tom Duffy? I know that he's a young bloke who's getting a chance like yourself in first grade. What do you think of his performance tonight?
Oh, he's been amazing. The way he stepped up into that jersey, he's filled some big names who have been in that jersey. So I couldn't give it up to him anymore. I've seen the way that he works every day, how clinical he is, and the mentality he brings into training, and it translates out here every game though. So yeah, it's really good to see him play well.
All right, well the mathematics are simple. You have to win your last 8 games. You still give the club any chance?
For sure. The way that we turn up every day, it's going to turn soon, and I know it will. And we're a team that can definitely fucking get these 8 wins in a row.
All right, well look, I really appreciate you chatting to us, Hayes, and best of luck when the Broncos do battle again after the bye.
Cheers, thank you. Apologise for the language too, brother. Sorry.
Oh, thank you, Hayes. You saved me. But yes, we realise in the emotion of the moment, but thanks for realising, and thanks for your correction of your faux pas. 28-16. The Sharks over the Broncos. 9-6, the Sharkies. They're up to 5th, Zano, on the live ladder.
They're up to 5th, and this man was one of the players pretty much orchestrating everything for the Sharkies tonight. Those little legs got you over the line there as well, Braden Trindle. How happy are you with that win?
Very happy. As you said, legs are getting very tired. It costs more, these little things, but I was happy to get the 2 points. I thought our forwards had a really good platform, and I thought our spine combined really well tonight.
Tell us about your relationship with Nico. He's currently being interviewed by the host broadcaster. It looks like you've taken more leadership over the last 12 months. Do you think that's freed him up to just be the running player that we know he can be?
Yeah, I think that's his best attribute to his game, is his running game, and playing a bit off the cuff. So, as it kind of has happened over the last year or so, I've kind of took a bit more control, and it just frees him up a bit more, which is good.
What about Sione Katoa tonight? Not only was he putting the ball down over the goal line, but he was also running through the middle. He come up some great plays for you guys.
He's massive. He's massive inclusion in our team, Sione, and he does it every week for us. So we're really happy to have him on our side.
Where do you think you need to improve just to get that one step further, Braden? I mean, we mentioned you're up to 5th now with that 9th win. You've been in preliminary finals the last couple of years. What have you got to get better in the last 8 weeks of this competition to get yourself into a better position to contend for the title?
Yeah, I think our discipline's letting us down, as you saw in the second half. The Broncos came back a bit because of our discipline and our little off-the-cuff plays with 7 tackle kicks and things like that. So we've cleaned that up. I think we'll go a long way.
All right, well, look, really appreciate watching you. We get the chance to do it again next week because you come back into Brisbane. You'd like that, wouldn't you, as a Brizzy boy, Caboolture boy?
Yeah, it's good. The weather's a bit better than Sydney at the moment, so happy to come back next week.
All right, see you at Redcliffe next week. Thanks for chatting to us, Braden.
Thank you. See you there.
Braden Trindle with Zane Bojack, Sharks 9 and 6, and boy, that's got a bit of taste about it next Saturday at 3 o'clock up at the traditional home of the high-flying Dolphins at Redcliffe at Dolphin Oval. That's their next assignment. Broncos have got the bye before that 5-11 record, 5-win, 11-loss record, an 8-game losing streak gets tested by going to Western Sydney Stadium to play Penrith.
That doesn't get any easier. Obviously, from there they're off to Townsville as well, so yeah, their backs are to the wall. They'll have all their troops back. Hopefully a few may come back from injury as well, but yeah, the season just goes from one level of horror to the next, and they just can't seem to get their way out of it.
Zano, got another guest in the nick of time.
Yeah, nick of time, catch and kill, mate. He's got a lot more hair than the last bloke I spoke to in Braden Trindle. He's got those flowing locks. Nico Hines, how good is it to get a win up here?
Yeah, it is. Obviously, there's patches that we can be better in, but it's always nice playing here at Suncorp. One of the best stadiums in the world, so yeah, it's a really good performance.
What have you got to do to be a little bit better? I just asked Braden, and he thinks there's fifth tackle options, trying to be a little bit better with the ball. You did drop a lot of ball tonight. Is there a reason for that? Because I thought it was perfect conditions.
Yeah, look, maybe overplaying our hand a bit, possibly. Yeah, we just got to get ourselves in the right position to make it uncomfortable for the other team. And in moments we did that, in moments we didn't. So it's just about staying consistent now and doing it for the full 80.
I know everyone's talked about the Broncos being weakened, but you guys didn't have Adam Fanua-Blake. You didn't have Blake Brayley. And look, when I say Blake Brayley, he's instrumental, isn't he, along with you and Tricky. And also, Bubba had a great game at the back as well. But when you don't have those guys and Britain coming in on the angle, how hard is it for you guys to be able to come out and actually be able to ice a game without those guys?
Yeah, look, every team has those struggles in this period, and they're missing some, and I'm glad you mentioned it because it seems to be when the Sharks play, it's about every other team who's missing their players and not us. So, yeah, look, we had no Aden, Blake, Toby Rudolph's out, Brad Newelly's still out, so we're missing a fair chunk too, and just really proud of the boys who pulled the Sharks jersey on for probably the first time this year in Tuku Hautapu, and he come on and did a really good job. So, yeah, it's always hard to not have your first cast players, but a really good club is built off next man up mentalities and having a really good squad. You can't win a competition without a healthy squad, and a good squad from 1 to 30.
I know you're playing 2 games in a row in Brisbane. You're going back to Sydney. Would you have liked to stay up here in camp?
I actually would have. I love the sunny coast. It's the second home for me, so yeah, it would have been nice to get up there, but got to get home to the fams and yeah, go and spend some time back in the Shire.
What are you going to do on Wednesday night? You going to watch the match?
Yeah, I'll watch it for sure and support my teammates. Really proud of my teammates, and regardless of what jerseys they put on, it's a really proud moment for the club.
All right, well, it's always a pleasure chatting to you, Nico. Congratulations on the performance tonight, and well done on 9 wins for the season.
Thank you very much. Tough.
Sharks halfback and former Dally M medalist Nico Hines with Zane Bojack as we wrap things up on this NRL Saturday on ABC Sports. Stick around. We'll get Billy's votes and plenty more to come. Cronulla winning here 28-16. Earlier it was St George Illawarra 24, West Tigers 10. And we'll get the wrap from Cogra. Your texts continue to be welcome on 0467 920 222. Just before Billy's wrap though, it is a busy night of sports, so let's get around the grounds. Repeating earlier in the Super Netball, the Adelaide Thunderbirds are the champions. They defeated the Melbourne Vixens in the grand final 61-40. As far as the rugby's concerned, there's still about 21 minutes of playing time at the Sydney Football Stadium. A high-scoring, entertaining affair there. Ireland has returned to the lead against Australia. You can hear that call on ABC Listen on the Sports Extra button. Things work well. We might even be able to pick up the closing stages of that right here, but it's Ireland 33, Australia 31, approaching the hour mark. Ireland 33, Australia 31. It's live right now on ABC Listen on the Sports Extra button. In the third round of Wimbledon, Alex de Minaur's dropped the second set of his match against the American Zach Schrader. De Minaur won the first set 6-2 by Schwader, the American, claiming the second set with a break in the 12th game, 7-5. So it's a set apiece there at SW19. And in the AFL, three-quarter time, Carlton has a 14-point lead over Richmond. The Blues 9-10-64 lead the Tigers 7-8-50. Okay, Billy, 28-16 for Cronulla. They're 9-6. They've got the Dolphins, as we spoke about, next week here. So you sort of look, their ladder position's good, but that's aided by the fact that they have had all of their buys, so they've got the six cheap points, and it always takes a little bit of interpretation. That's why you look at the wins column. So those 9 wins sort of has them behind, like Penrith 13 wins, Warriors, Roosters, Dolphins 10 wins, Knights 10 wins. So important in that they've got, I think when you level things out, they're sort of 2/3 the way down the 8 at the moment, maybe a little bit lower than 5th as it stands, if you want to try and weight all the bye points, which can give you a migraine. But
I can easily find 6 teams in front of them, you're right.
Yeah. But they're pretty well nuzzled into the 8, and that was an important win when you've got the likes of, the Cowboys, who have, they've got 9 wins. The Bunnies have had their 3 buys and they've only got 8 wins.
Yeah, and
Doggies have had their 3 buys and they've only got 7 wins, trying to chase a late spot.
And you can see Melbourne's probably the other one that's really chasing for that spot.
Warriors 3 buys, 10 wins. Roosters 3 buys, 10 wins.
So the key thing with the 8 is they're sitting right now in 8th spot.
Well, they're up to 5th now on the live ladder.
On the live ladder?
Yeah.
Well, it's the ones who can push them out of the 8. And I'm looking at the sides before the start of the round. If you look at Cowboys, Dogs, Melbourne are 3 sides that could jump into the bottom part of the 8 and push someone out. So that's what you're staying in front of. So that performance tonight, I don't think at the pointy edge of the season is good enough to put them in the 8. So those chasing 3, it's a real battle there. So they need to improve what we saw. There were some wonderful performances out there.
I will say this, though. I mean, we are almost at the end of the second third of the season. You just take 2 points during the origin period. So we have pre-origin, origin, and then post-origin, i.e. the run to the finals.
Yep.
I don't think Craig Fitzgibbon's going to be unhappy at all with that tonight.
No, but
just get the job done. Come to Brisbane, beat the Premiers.
In front of 39,000 people.
Yeah.
You need to win ugly. That wasn't ugly. There was moments in that game where you thought they've got Brisbane on toast here, and they let them back in because of their ball control. Completed it just over 70%. That's what I mean. You've got to get that up. If you do 70% against Penrith, against the Warriors, against the Finns, if you give them the ball, they will cut you to pieces.
Yeah, and just an interesting question too, and hopefully he has a blinder here on Wednesday night, but you get the feeling that Blake Brayley is so important to this team.
Yes.
He's the one that takes them from being very competitive, very solid, to being a chance to threaten the really good teams.
Well, if you remember in this house last week, we called one of the best games I've done.
The Dolphins-Warriors game.
In my career, that's up there, top 3 we've ever called. And we remarked on, and we saw it happen, the role of the 2 9s.
Wade Egan and Jeremy Marshall-King, yeah.
How important. You need a good 9. Brisbane at the moment are struggling. They're not getting any penetration in cutting up from the dummy half. If you start to get a defensive line that is cut up by the hooker, the dummy half, what it does, it causes the defensive line to collapse in and it goes to chaos. Brisbane at the moment, they're trying to get people on the outside, and they're high-pressure passes. They make mistakes. We saw that tonight, a few drop balls. So, a good 9 is important, and Brayley, well, that's why he's playing Origin, because he's very, very good.
Now, did Zane sway you with the votes? I mean, an hour into the game, Sione Katoa scored 3 tries, and he's trying to get you, Billy Moore, to give 3 votes to a winger. So
I'm independent.
Do your thing.
I will do my thing. And
let us know who got the 3, 2, and 1.
I've actually gone 3 to Nicker Hines. So, thanks, Dano. You were close. But I just think that when it mattered, in certain sections of the game. He was the controlling influence. We talked about his run game. He ran for over 100 metres, 2 try assists. If they're going to... They've finished the season. They've played in preliminary finals, the Sharks. If they're going to go one step further, he's got to get... the man of the matches in those big games. Him and Trindle are the key ingredients. And you remarked on it that it looks so much better when Trindle kicks, Hines runs. Sounds simple, but that's what he's a natural ball runner, and he's sweet. He's very good at evading tackle.
He's a big guy too.
Yeah, and he's got a bit of toe. So when he plays well, the team goes well. I gave 2 to Sione Katoa. His name whispered around the ground. 3 tries, 18 carries.
Zano's just ready to cheer for him in a Cowboys jersey. That's what he's sort of pumping up his value. He's going to be a loss for the Sharks.
And you think about it, he's going to go up to a club which has got plenty of strike out wide, so he's going to be fighting for a jersey. He had 2 line breaks, 2 tackle breaks. I gave 1 point to the man that goes to the same hairdresser as you, Tommy Hazelton. 16.
It's a good look, isn't it?
Yes. Well, there's a few out there. You just said a few eggs.
I'm more Will Kennedy's sort of structure than Tom Hazelton's structure, though. And there's a few. So what have we had? Kennedy with the shaved head, Trindle, Hazelton. Puru as well.
Well, just quickly on his numbers, he had 16 carries for 150 metres, 65 post contact, 26 tackles, no misses. For a big guy, that was important that he was able to balance his game, and his energy at the end was as good as the start. He's a bit of an unsung hero. There was talk a couple of years ago of potentially being an Origin player. He's not far off that calibre. He's a good player. And again, you need big guys to win big games. So for them to continue to climb the ladder and stay in the 8, someone like him is important.
3 to Hines, 2 to Katoa, 1 to Hazelton from Billy Moore with the votes on Cronulla's 28 points to 16 victory. 0467 920 222 is the text message number. Graham from Yamba says, "G'day team, this will be the best battle for the top 8 ever. Manly for mine with their best team on paddock is the dark horse."
Agreed.
Yeah, not such a bad point.
That's what I love. That's a really good point he makes. This run into the finals, as I said, this side here, you said the bottom probably portion of the 8, and you've got the chasing pack which has got Melbourne in it. It's got the Dogs in it. They're chasing to get in there, and then you've got sitting above it. Obviously, Penrith have lost their last 2, but they sit there. And then what we saw here last week. Well, if the Finns and the Wars aren't contenders, well, knock me out, because they were outstanding.
Do we want to sift through anything more from the Broncos before we get to the wrap from Cogra? I mean, we live in the town. It just gets peppered. They're a huge club. It is a huge story. This is a reigning premier that has now lost 8 in a row. 8 in a row. So that record for worst losing streak as reigning premier is now extended. There's something that the Broncos had already held. So no Reynolds, no Mam, no Gajewski, no Talfa, no Jensen, and the Origin crew of Walsh and Haas. But yet again during the week we get a story of a young player in Josiah Karapani who, doesn't realise that he's got a privileged position as a professional footballer, and you can't do dumb things by putting people's lives at risk by driving unregistered vehicles and driving when you're not allowed to have any blood alcohol in your system. That's a 2-timer for him as well.
That's the key. Well, there's a few keys there, but the fact it's a second offence, inside the year, isn't it?
Yep.
Wow. So life's about learns. Well, make sure you do as I said and learn.
Yeah. So that's sort of. Well, what do you feel about the place?
Well, it's hard to get a form line on the fact that. Yes, they're the reigning premiers and had this amazing run last year.
There is no grey area with this club, can I say that?
Well,
last year, lightning in a bottle, unbelievable, and we see them every week. And we probably thought, oh wow, we didn't expect them to go all the way and win it last year, but they did. But you don't expect them to be in the bottom four.
Well, 100%. To go from the top of the tree to the, well, not the bottom, but near bottom, that's the storyline. And because it's the biggest team in town, the microscope's on them. But, you know, I'm one of those perennial positive people. What a great opportunity for the Finns to say, hey, wait on, just remember, this is our town too. I think that's a great story for them. So in the middle of the chaos, when Rome's burning, they go, wait on, we're still here. Don't forget us. And that's, I think, a great thing from the boys from the peninsula. Yep. This is cometh the hour, cometh the min. This is your chance to shine and everyone to realise going forward in the history books of rugby league in this town, that this might be the year where people go, wait on, there is definitely, not a rumour, there's a definite crystallisation of another great power team.
Billy Moore with you on NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Just before we get the wrap from Cogra, scoreline in that Rugby International, so I mentioned Ireland went ahead. That try got taken off them by the TMO, so the Wallabies lead. There's 14 minutes to go there at the footy stadium. Australia 31, lead Ireland 26. Call available on ABC Listen, but if it gets tight and we've got time, we might even be able to catch the end of that one. Before that, though, let's get the wrap from Cogra. West's Tigers fans. They must think the first 6 weeks of the season feels like a decade ago.
Yes, that's good point.
Those rose-coloured glasses have been obliterated when there were so many thoughts of what may be for Benji's boys in 2026. Well, today, the Dragons were too good. How did it happen, Andrew Moore and Luke Lewis?
Yes, victory for St George Illawarra at last. Number 2 on the year, 24 points to 10. They led 6-4 at half-time. And up until about 11 minutes to go, West Tigers led 10 points to 6. And honestly, it looked like we could be here for another week and the Dragons wouldn't score. But then, wouldn't you know it, they scored 3 tries in 7 minutes in that last 10. Val Holmes getting 2 of them, and the Dragons win 24 points to 10. Other tries to Tyrell Sloan in the first half, who was then injured. McPhee scored a try. Matthew Feingay in the 77th minute. Val Holmes 4 from 5. And for the West Tigers, both tries scored by their halfback Adam Dewey in the 9th and 48th minute. He missed with his only shot. Jock Madden 1 from 1. And in the end, Luke Lewis, a much-deserved victory for the bottom of the table Dragons.
Yeah, absolutely. Right from the kickoff, they were making good metres. They were getting good field position. They just couldn't convert the field position into points. But at the end of the day, I think the better team won. They held in there. They went into half-time up by 2, which was a big plus for them. And I think that gave them a little bit of confidence. But I'm with you. I didn't think they were going to get across the line again. But all of a sudden, they just had a little bit of flourish. They got a couple of opportunities. And Val Holmes moved to the wing. I think that was the key for him. Like, he looked really good. He done a lot of work out of the back end. He finished off some great tries. And you know the thing, he doesn't overthink his game. He just gets heavily involved because he knows he's a winger and that's he has to do for his forwards. So I like him in that wing position.
Michael Carianis. It's a great night for the Dragons. They're going to be celebrating that. They're going to feel good for the remains of the weekend into next week.
Yeah, no doubt, and they deserved it. They were clearly the better side tonight. There was probably a period in that second half, probably in the start of that second half, they just didn't come out as well as they did in that opening 40 minutes. But aside from that, I thought it was a clear dominant win by the Dragons.
It was, and on the other end of the scale, MC, clearly disappointment amongst the West Tigers players after the game.
That's me, season done for the West Tigers. I said that leading into this game. If they didn't win today, I don't think they can play finals footy, and the injuries have just hurt them to their key players. But I think season done and dusted. Another year where the Tigers don't play finals footy.
You know, they came into the game in 12th position, 18 points, so they're a fair way out of the top 8, and it's one of those situations, Louis, where it's mathematically possible for them, but it does seem unlikely.
Yeah, I can't say they're going to make it. I know mathematically they can, but they haven't got the team, and there are too many injuries for them, so I'm saying they're out as well.
All right, thank you, Michael Carianis. Thank you to Luke Lewis. See you tomorrow at Western Sydney Stadium. So in the end, it's St George Illawarra winning by 24 points to 10 in the ABC Player of the Year points queue. 3 to Valentine Holmes, the Dragons centre, who played mostly on the wing tonight. 2 points to West Tigers halfback Adam Dewey, and 1 point to the Dragons Loco Junior Pacifica Tonga.